And now on Who's Views, it's time to join JT, Paul and Third Doctor Ian for the latest headlines.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Who's Views and part 2 of your big weekend with your big show headlines. How are you all? It's Sunday, the 11th of January. It's 2026. It's 8 o'clock in the evening here in the UK. And yeah, we're back with another episode because there's so much to talk about. It's only the 11th day of the month. And these people have given us so much to talk about already. We had to do 2 shows. So if you didn't see last night's show on Saturday, you can go and watch it again tomorrow. Yay! That'd be great, wouldn't it? Absolutely. Stay with us for this show, though. It's great to see so many of you in the chat already. Going to come to you shortly. Let's bring the guys on because have you heard? Yes, well, Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor himself, has been talking about why he thinks Doctor Who may not be in the right place at the moment. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be looking at the BBC and possible streaming rights. That's also going to be tying into us having a look at those 2026 rumours that already have started. And then we're also going to be looking at, well, Alan Cumming in Pitlochry. So lots to get through. Oh, goodness me. I don't know how we're going to have the time. Make sure you've got a cup of tea, everybody. Let's get the guys on now. We've got Paul and we've got Third Doctor Ian here. Hello to you two. Here we go again.
Evening, all.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
Here we go again, indeed.
I know, another big show, guys. Lots planned for this particular one. I want to say, first of all, though, a huge thanks to everybody that's been getting in touch this week, including Stephen Braddock, to Vasco, to Paul Eubarnes, Derek Hart, Rory Stanage, Bill Lowry, Michael Sheridan, Lynn Hobday, Stephen Griffiths, TARDIS 1963, to Miles D1, to Eddie Day Riley, to What's This All About? To RJ Andy, to Mudcrap, to Domgo, to That Random Bloke, Crimpling Doubloon, to Lawrence Steele, for Viewing Only, and for Jane Evans. Thank you so much for getting in touch to you guys and everybody else as well. Mailbag's still getting really busy, guys.
Good. Some of those handles are wonderful. I do like them.
Aren't they?
Great imagination.
I know. Yeah, and you need it
Doesn't
on YouTube.
top Hugh Janus, however, but still good nonetheless.
Well, yes.
The less said about that, the better, I think. Really, the way you've said that.
I think was it Domgo? Was it Domgo last night that made the comment about Electric Bluey? Because don't about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, Paul and I were still laughing our asses off at that. It just struck. Honestly,
we're just really juvenile. That's the problem.
Such a naughty boy.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got Jason here saying, hello, evening all gents. Let's be having JT and the Tangent Brothers. Problem being is in the chat with us. Evening all, you gorgeous rabble. He's saying that in the chat, not us. Do you know that? John Mason's with us saying, hello, folks. John, the computer doctor's with us as well, saying, hello from a moist York. Ooh, dear.
This area is very moist.
Yeah. Digital Pollution, hello to you, saying good evening to us. Hiya. And Margie's with us, Margie75. Hello, JT, Ian, Paul, and everybody in the chat. Good to see you, Margie. Oh, we've got loads of you with us. We've got Reviews, Ransom Religion. We've got Woodhouse 122. We've got my mate Jane. Hello to you. You actually got there. She said to me today, I finally got on. I know how to do it now. We've got Hugh Pyro is with us with this wonderful picture of John as Wurzel. What can you say about Wurzel? What a show. We've got John. Hello, John. How are you? He's saying, evening, JT and Tangent Twins, Ian and Paul. We've got Dave Hyman with us saying hello. There are loads of you there. We've got Matt and Spiel as well. Hi, Kirsty's in there as well. Our lady of the chat. She's there looking after you all. Get ready for the next ride, says Rick Storm. Yeah, I know. Craig Dunlop as well. Good to see you. Matt, the Silent Wee Music King, as I still call you. You are still in there. And he's saying to us here, you know what? I think Whoopsie Goldberg has lost it in her old age. She might have dementia given what she's talking about. I don't think she ever had it, Matt. I think she's always been a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Woo-hoo! That's why I've called it Whoopsie for years, to be quite honest. Oh, Frankie's with us. Frankie Standage is saying, evening, JT, Paul and Ian. I'm here, but I've got a sore back. Not fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not fun. Oh, gosh.
Nasty.
Yeah, I hope it's nothing too serious, to be quiet, because that is awful, isn't it? Goodness me. Take care of yourself, Frankie. Go and see a doctor if you need to. That's my tip. Don't ignore things.
Not now. Wait till tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, don't do it right now. We've got Georgia Donald with us. Good evening to you. Cara's with us. Hello, Cara. She said she was on time for once tonight. That's brilliant. And Robert's with us. Robert Payne. Hello to you as well. Lots of you with us. What's this from Mark Reeves? Greetings, everyone. Back at work tomorrow after a week off. I can't think of a better way to end the holiday. Gone with holiday with Whose Views. Well, I can, but Starmer won't let me. Okay. Yes. Make the most of X while you can this week, everybody. Let's have a look and see what happens by Friday, shall we, with that lunatic. Stephen O'Neill is also reminding us all, which is great of you, Stephen. Thank you. The Eden channel is showing the Green Death, followed by the Time Warrior, and then the following Tuesday, the invasion of the dinosaurs and death to the Daleks. What more could you want? Thank you, Eden. Partly owned
Can
by
I put a complaint into Eden, though? Whoever plans the episodes, can you show a complete story, not half a story, then jump to the next story? That just drives me crazy.
Is that what they've done?
Yeah, they've done like that. You've probably seen it. They had Planet the Daleks. I think they showed a whole story, then 2 episodes of Green Death, and went back to Planet the Daleks, and then showed the rest of Green Death. And it's just bizarre. Like, who did that? It's crazy.
I must have been lucky because, I actually saw all of Planet of the Daleks on Eden the other night or the other.
Well, they show it all day and right into the morning, but they do repeat it on a loop. But depending on the combination of episodes, depends on what you get to see when you catch it. So sometimes it's a bit kind of higgledy-piggledy, to be honest. Yeah, so it's just weird,
That's what they used to do. Remember when what was Sky called before it was Sky?
It was a BSB.
And all that.
BSB.
That's what they used to do there. They would in the early days when that started.
I feel a tangent coming on.
Yes.
Does anybody still have a squarial?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We're showing all 7 Doctor Who's. Digital Pherome. I hope I've said that. Is that how you say that? Pheromone. Sounds like a good band, though. Has the conspiracy been explained as to why you all wear the same glasses? Yes, because we're all looking at a screen.
We're not sponsored by Specsavers or some other opticians like that, or Boots.
No, we're not. But we could be. I might approach them.
We're open to options, So,
It's great to see you all in the chat. Hello to Margie as well. Good to see you, Margie. And Lex is with us. I watched yesterday online, Peter Capaldi talking about Tom Baker, a very good video. Yeah, we're coming to that later on in the show. And Lex will be joining us tomorrow, of course, on the Blake 7 panel. The core of sci-fi fantasy, what are you saying to us? Evening, folks. First time watching live in a while. Have been very poorly recently, but your channel is helping me get back to health. Now stick it to RTD. We will do our best throughout the year. And the core of sci-fi fantasy, get well soon. Get well soon. Hope you're all right. Hope you're all right. I want to start, actually, if I may, is yesterday, while we were on the show yesterday, live. You remember that we had notifications from Kirsty and a few of you in the chat as well with the sad news that we actually had notification of 2 passings yesterday. Derek Martin has passed. If you're into the original Doctor Who, you'll know Derek Martin. He was. Well, I remember him for the Unit Soldier. I always going to remember him in that cap.
Well, he's the one that gets attacked by the Axon. Remember, and that wonderful.
That's right.
Like it comes towards him at the reactor. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, we were also told yesterday live on the show that Christina Packer had passed away as well. And of course, she played Anne Travers in The Web of Fear. Stephen Braddock today has sent us another one because of that. Another one of his drawings. It's this one.
Oh, fabulous.
That's
so
lovely.
Thank you for that, Steve, as a bit of a tribute for Tina.
It always disappoints me. That's a publicity photograph, isn't it? It doesn't happen in the story, does it? Yeah,
it's based on the publicity photo for it as well. But you know what?
Because it's in the Doctor Who Monster book, isn't it? I'm sure that's in that, isn't it? Yeah. I remember seeing that as a kid and thinking, "Wow, that's great."
Exactly.
But then when it's recovered, it's not in the story itself, which is quite sad, really. But,
exactly. But that publicity photo did its job because exactly what you said there. Because it got me when I was
scary. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that looks great, and it's just brilliant, isn't it? And we look at it today, and I still get chills in the Monster book and stuff like that. Digby, thank you for your super chat. Good to see you, mate. Howdy, folks. Keep the tangents and insight flowing. This show is only supposed to go for 2 hours a week.
I'll do my best.
Lots of comments about that picture there from Digby. So thank you very much for that, Stephen. Sorry, thank you, Stephen, for that, and thank you, Digby, for your super chat. And the problem being is, as we said yesterday, goodness me, RIP to everybody, and lots of love and hugs and thoughts go to their families at this difficult time. Right, so let's crack on with the show today, everybody. I hope you're ready for this because we do have a lot to get through. And I want to start with some breaking news, actually, really, from earlier on this afternoon. If you were about and you saw this, you'll know what we're talking about. But Carole Ford, apparently, has actually been interviewed with a new interview for the Radio Times. That's on its way shortly, but it is being teased at the moment. And this was the first story that broke this afternoon from this new up-and-coming interview. Doctor Who legend Carole Ford makes a plea for return of missing classic story. Let us have it back. It's such a loss. Which story is she talking about, everybody? Paul, which story could you be talking about?
Marco Polo, I'd imagine. Yeah.
You are
Dimensions in Time. No?
No.
Yeah, the missing footage from that. Yeah, I'm happy either way. Be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It is Marco Polo. The article carries on. The fourth ever serial saw the first TARDIS team, William Hartnell's first Doctor, Ford Susan, William Russell's Ian Chesterton, and Jacqueline Hill's Barbara Wright meet the historic Italian merchant explorer in a 7-episode adventure first broadcast in 1964. However, after episodes were erased by the BBC in 1967, the entire serial is now missing with just some audio surviving. Speaking exclusively to RadioTimes.com as part of an in-depth interview about her time on Doctor Who, Ford said she's mortified by the idea that the story can't be watched by fans, adding, Marco Polo, such a beautiful one, so beautiful, such a loss. Well, hopefully it's not lost forever. While nothing has been proven, says Radio Times, some fans believe the story exists in a private collection, with Ford issuing a plea if that's the case, saying, please, if there's somebody out there who's got Marco Polo, return it because we're suffering. Please let us have it back just for a while so we can see again what loveliness that was. A total of 97 of 253 episodes from the show's first 6 years are currently missing, leaving 26 stories incomplete because the BBC erased or reused tapes in the 1960s and 70s to save storage space and costs before archiving policies were put in place. In recent years, some of these episodes have been recreated via animation, as tapes of audio recordings have survived for every episode. However, it has long been believed that some of the episodes exist in private collections, with the organization Film is Fabulous on the hunt for the episodes and sharing periodic updates with fans, including a promising one late last year. Yes, so we'll keep you informed, obviously, of what Carole Ann's saying when the interview is published in full, but she's one of the few now that will actually remember what it was like, Marco Polo. Because remember the stories, guys, years ago when there were more of the team around? Oh, it was beautiful. It was lavish. It was colourful. The sets were gorgeous. It made you just go, even more, didn't it?
Well, I mean, I think we're very lucky to have the audios of all the missing episodes. That's miraculous in itself. The idea of the BBC taping over them, it makes you think of like your mum doing that with your old Doctor Who episodes and recording Coronation Street or something because there's no spare tape. That always makes me laugh. But it's funny, but the story looks fabulous. I've watched the loose cannon reconstruction, and these are the colour photographs from that, and it looks amazing. We're missing a real gem there. We really are.
Yeah. Have you guys heard the whether it be the BBC audio collection on the original CD or the recent vinyl? Have you heard the soundtracks?
Oh, I've listened to the soundtrack many times. I feel like I've watched it. Honestly, I've had it so many times.
I've just listened to it. I've just listened to it on Audible again. I've got the CDs and everything, but for convenience, I downloaded them on Audible, and quality is lovely, and it is an absolute fantastic story. For 7 episodes, it doesn't lag at all. There's a lot going on. Tagana is a wonderful villain, and all that scheming and plotting and everything is absolutely ruthless. But it's a fantastic story. But I do wonder with this, because obviously there's been a lot of missing episode chatter, hasn't it, in the run up to the end of 2025, and there was all that hope that on Doctor Who Day we would get something, and we didn't. And I just wonder whether or not this is like RTD does. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if we got more diverse actors, writers, knowing full well that he'd already got them, and then he could say, "Oh, look, I brought all these writers in." Could this be Marco Polo has been discovered and it's in the process of restoration and they're about to announce it and they're just setting this up so it's topical? I don't know.
Nah,
conspiracy
I don't think so. It's
theory head
Radio
on.
Times. It's not the BBC. It's the Radio Times.
Yeah.
No, it's Radio Times.
But the BBC pulls their chain, doesn't it?
Not to an extent of preempt a possible missing episode. I wouldn't have thought it will do when it's actually a producer doing it. But I think this is more because it's out of context. Obviously, it's part of this bigger interview she's done about her time on Doctor Who, and I think it's just come up with the fact. Look, how do you feel that some of your classic episodes are missing, including Marco Polo? But we'll soon see when the interview is fully published in radiotimes.com in the near future.
It's bizarre, though, that Marco Polo is the most copied story, and it's been around the world many times, and there's not any episodes exist at all, not even one. But something like the Dalek Master Plan's got 3 episodes that returned, and the odds of them coming back were negligible. You know what I mean? But Marco Polo's been shown so many places, many copies made, but there's not even one episode existing. Hopefully that'll change. Hopefully.
Yeah. It is bizarre. I mean, we know that Hartnell's personal copy is out there somewhere as well. But, we live in hope.
We've got Matt Enspiel here saying to us, getting Marco Polo back would be a dream. Yeah. Frankie Stanage correctly saying that the late Mark Eden was in that one. Absolutely.
He was superb in that as well. Yeah.
Hi, Paul. I understand Marco Polo was very widely sold abroad. It does seem strange that there seems to be nothing out there at all of these episodes, but I would love to see this story. Absolutely. Woodhouse122 is saying, I wonder if Carole has heard anything from Film is Fabulous. I wouldn't have thought so, to be quite honest. I really
never tell an actor anything, they'll just blot it out. That's what they like.
Yeah, they do. What's this from Funky is saying that isn't there a rumor that the BBC archives actually have the episodes but in such a bad state they can't risk opening the canisters? Not heard that one. We are coming to rumors very shortly, but I've not heard that one. What else we got here as well on that store? Oh, Jason saying to us, Marco Polo still photos make it look so colourful and vibrant. Presumably a great story. Well, if you've heard the audios, you know it is. It'd be weird, though, to actually see some of the episodes having grown up with the audio, to be quite honest.
Some of the things about it, you see the telesnaps that they were reproduced in the Doctor Who magazine look great. But there's one, it's the sandstorm. Looks wonderful, sounds great. And some of the photographs, it's amazing. But there's like Lime Grove, a sandstorm at Lime Grove. Amazing imagination. Superb, really,
Throwing wood chip or sand or something at actors.
But it looks brilliant. It's probably done so well, in that tiny space,
Yeah. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have Marco Polo as the Legion of James? That and the entire Dalek master plan. But we can hope and pray. Well, we can. And that's what we've got to do. Obviously, when announcements are made, we will come back and do a nice big coverage of whatever they've discovered, whatever they want us to know. And looking forward to that. As Robert Payne's saying to us in the chat, nothing happens until it happens.
Yeah.
Stephen Braddock is saying, would love Marco Polo to come back. The sets look amazing. And here's Bedweir saying to us, great. More speculation to add to the rumour mill about missing episodes.
Hooray! Bedweir knows something, I can tell. Yeah. I'll speak to you later, Bedweir.
Of course, if they have found it, they will rush release it, won't they? Because that'll be a steelbook and everything. And they would have got Caroline Ford to do a commentary, wouldn't they?
It's been iTunes ready since 2013, though, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's one of these things. I mean, any of the missing stories Doctor Who fans are always going to go on about as the holy grails of Doctor Who. And it's I mean, we've had this not to the extent it is now, but we've had it for years. Ever since Doctor Who Monthly printed that article, the famous article of, oh my God, look how many episodes are missing. It's been there since then. It's more ferocious now, simply because of online facilities to be able to talk about it. Rick Stormer sent us, if they do get it back, don't let RTD or Ben anywhere near it.
Colorize it and cut it. Oh no. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Put a new soundtrack to it. Graham's with us. Hello, Graham. Evening, everyone. I've just got here. Well, welcome. Hope we're all good. Oh, are we talking about Marco Polo? It sounds good to me. We're talking about a little clip that came from the radiotimes.com this afternoon, where Caroline Ford was asked about Marco Polo, and she would love to see it again. Of course she would. She remembers it, but she'd love to see it. Bill's saying to us, JT, the poor quality copies in the hands of the BBC went around later last year.
There was a story, JT, that in the early 90s it was offered from another TV company to the BBC, and they got into the wrong department. They said, no, we don't need it. We've got them all. Bye. And that was a story that went along for a long time. It was early 90s that apparently happened. But that's probably complete nonsense, probably.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. Made up by some bitter fan at a convention, probably.
No doubt, yeah. It wasn't me.
No, and it wasn't me either. I wasn't bitter in those days. That's only happened in the last few years. The John Keeley's with us. Thank you, John, for your super chat. Good evening, gentlemen. Season 15 tomorrow. Can't wait. Neither can I, John. I've got my shortbread in. I'm all ready for it because season 15, the standard Blu-ray release, Legion of James.
You'll be stalking the postman, are you, tomorrow? Yeah.
I'll be waiting at my window. Come on, hurry up. Yeah, it's released tomorrow. Yes, so if you've got it from your online places, hopefully you'll get it tomorrow. I better get it tomorrow because I've got the shortbread and plenty of tea bags in. John Mason is saying to us, but we thought Enemy of the World was rubbish until we saw the episodes. Marco Polo, maybe the same in reverse. Don't say that, John. Can you imagine? After all these years,
it was like that, wasn't it? With Tomb of the Cybermen, early 90s.
Yeah.
That was the holy grail then, wasn't it? The Tomb of the Cybermen, and that was just absolutely in people's memories and minds. It was the best story ever, and mercifully, it was great. But it was a risk, wasn't it? If that had come and been naff, that would have been horrendous.
It was. Do you remember that when you got the VHS copy with that lovely sort of silver look on the VHS, that lovely black, and you took it home that night? And I remember thinking something similar to this, thinking all these older fans I knew at the time who remembered it from when they were kids. If this is crap, I am so coming after you lot. But it wasn't. It was brilliant. It was really good. I fell in love with that show. Paul Schlafter is saying to us, William Hartnell is wonderful in this story. The soundtrack is wonderful. The pictures tease us. It's a lost epic, I'm sure. And Stephen O'Neill is saying to us, the holy grail of lost stories is still the power of the Daleks for me. See, there's so many, isn't there?
So many, yeah.
Mark A. Rice is also telling us, everybody, Loose Cannon did a wonderful colour recon of Marco Polo, complete with newly filmed prologue with Mark Eden in character.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to go and look that up. So thank you for that, Mark. So that was just a little something there from this afternoon that I thought you might be interested in. So again, we will let you know when the Carole Ann Ford interview comes out in full, and if there's anything worth in there reporting. Maybe she might talk about RTD and him editing her out after all the fuss of getting her into the crap last year.
Well, let's hope he doesn't bring her back for his so-called Christmas special.
God, can you imagine that? Start the rumor here, everybody, because we're talking about rumors in a minute. Hello, Keith. Keith Burton's with us. 10th Planet 4 and Power of the Daleks is the ultimate holy grail, but Marco Polo is next on that list.
Yeah. Anything, absolutely anything. Yeah,
I think complete stories. I'd love Power of the Daleks. As I've said probably many times before, it was what was on when my comrade Paul and myself were born in November '66. That and so 10th Planet 4, another episode of Dalek Master Plan would be fantastic. But Dalek Master Plan and Marco Polo would be fantastic to get back. Really would.
Hello to Popcorn Power, who's joined us, and Woodhouse 122 saying to us there, if the BBC has it and Rush releases it, they can have my cash straight away. Woodhouse 122, you wouldn't be the only one. And this is what the BBC knows. If they found something from the 60s, whether it be an episode or a complete story, we'd all want to see it.
Oh, yeah.
We'd all want to see it. Now, if they do manage to get, say, 10th Planet 4, for example, they can re-release 10th Planet again with the 4 complete episodes as well as the animated 4.
And Michael Craig's reporting it from the grave. That'd be nice, yeah.
Oh, that lovely thing that Michael did, but we'd buy it again. We would buy it again. And they know that. The BBC studios know that's what would happen. So they know it's in their interest.
Yeah, steelbook as well, wouldn't it? It'd be a steelbook. It'd be.
I'd probably go for that, to be honest, as well. If it was any.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they postponed any announcement and not to pull focus away from the fishy thing. And they'll get something in the spring. They'll find a good time to bring it out.
You never know. Don't forget, this is the 60th anniversary of the Cybermen. So who knows what's coming from BBC Studios when it comes to watchability, i.e. DVDs or Blu-rays or anything like that. Mark Reeves, thank you for your super chat. I heard there's a copy in a Nigerian barber shop.
Very good.
Well, there was a rumour that the first 2 episodes in Iran, but we won't dwell on that. But
oh, goodness.
yes.
That'd be going for a lot of money now if it was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for that, Mark. It was a good one, that one. Legion of James is saying, of course, we'd all definitely buy it. How many copies of Spearhead from Space do we all have? Well,
how many do you want?
I know. 2 VHSs upwards, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we might be saying the same thing about something in a few months' time. Stay with us here on the channel, because we were working something out yesterday.
They're not doing Shada again, for God's sake.
Oh, God, Shada. They love milking things out of us, don't they? They really, really do.
Yeah.
Listen, so yeah, we've started. I thought that was a nice way to tie in with the whole thing. We're only 11 days into 2026, and the amount of rumors that have been generated and are flying around fandom at the moment is like something I've never seen ever. The reason being, of course, is simply because, well, it's not on the air at the moment. Even though we had lots of people, didn't we, Third Doctor Ian, last year saying, oh, the Christmas special's been written, it's been filmed for 2025. Oh, yeah. It was a bit conspicuous.
It was a great episode, wasn't it? It was fantastic.
They must have wiped that one if it was that bad. Maybe, I don't know.
Got massive ratings, yeah.
Yeah.
If only the wiping could be retrospective and go back about 10 years, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yes, indeed. Cool and dry. Hello, mate. How are you? Thank you for your super chat. In a world that feels a little short of wonder, thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your time and your love for Doctor Who. Oh. Sometimes it's only by looking back that a way forward revealed. Fingers crossed. Oh, well, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Is Cool and Dry Mark Milford? Is that Mark?
Yeah.
I recognise that picture.
Doctor Who fans, isn't it? It's simply because
you've just blown his cover, Ian, obviously.
We've got 26 years of superior time and space television travel, right? We've got that. And it means so much to more people, millions more, than the Gatwa and Whittaker eras do.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. So, you know, even though we've got a few of the new reboot Who fans like Kirsty, Emilio, Miles, and everybody else that we have on our show, everybody in the chat who would go, oh my God, you know, they found an old Doctor Who and they go and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, I don't imagine in 50 years' time, if a shooty episode was lost and it returned, there'd be any excitement at all. In fact, no, keep it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they lost those eras, though? Do you know what I mean? It'd be absolutely fantastic. You know, what's this from Phil? Hello, Philip Roy. Rumor has it, yes, that a missing episode turned up in Sergio Leone. Am I saying that right? Sergio Leone. But they wanted a fistful of dollars for it. It wouldn't surprise me. But it is a rumor.
I think it's a spaghetti western gag there somewhere, but yeah. So.
I think it is. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about some of the rumors that are out there now because they're absolutely... Some of them are unbelievably ridiculous. Let's face it, they're absolutely shockingly stupid. And you look at them and just go, blah. I mean, a lot of them involve the fact that, you know, I have to point out, currently, as we're broadcasting on the 11th of January, 2026, nobody's working on Doctor Who. There's nobody in Wales working in Doctor Who. Bad Wolf is dark. There's nobody there. There's nobody in BBC Studios really doing anything. And it just makes me laugh because, again, it's fans wishing something into existence. These desperate fans. God, you know, they wouldn't have got through the 15 years that we got through, would they?
No, not at all.
No.
Some of the rumours, though, aren't beyond possibility based on Russell's imagination or lack of, you know what I mean?
Lack of imagination. I was going to add there. Yeah, lack of imagination. Let's go through some of them now. One of the ones we discussed very briefly yesterday that came out yesterday was the fact that the show was going to go back on hiatus. One of our favourite words as Doctor Who fans. Nobody else in the world uses it. Just Doctor Who fans.
I always think hernia when I hear that, to be fair. But
interesting. Okay. But after 2025 Christmas episode, it's going to be parked again and shelved. Good, I say, because it bloody needs it. I want to say at this point, thank you to Vasco, who sent me this graphic via X. So we're going to look through this graphic and then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go. The current plan is to film the 2026 Christmas special sometime in the spring of 2026. The working title is The Lost Doctor. Both Billy Piper and, yes, David Tennant are expected to reprise their roles, as well as Yasmin Finney as Rose Noble and a possible cameo from Ncuti. Oh, God. The draft
Oh,
script.
sounds brilliant already, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. The draft script is currently circulating around the BBC as pre-production rapidly gets underway. That's nonsense. The story is described as a big space-hopping adventure with a Guardians of the Galaxy-style feel with a World War II narrative thrown in. The plot reportedly follows the 14th Doctor, Billy Piper's Rose, and Rose Noble as they attempt to find the true 16th Doctor, who has been kidnapped by the mysterious boss-type character. The Daleks will also be featured, who in the backdrop will be plotting a universe-wide invasion, just for a change. Pre-production is well underway. No, it's not. Particularly for a brand new Dalek design. The Daleks do some really interesting things in the current script, which has made me extremely curious on how this new design will turn out. The 16th Doctor will not be fully revealed, if at all, depending how things go, until the end of the episode, and will spend most of the story locked within the regeneration process. This is apparently RTD's final episode, so expect loose ends seasons 1 and 2 to be tied up here. You've only got an hour. How much,
Yeah.
Going forward, the BBC reportedly wants to use this special to set a new standard for the show. Instead of 8 episode seasons every year, they're hoping to follow a Sherlock-style model with 3 to 5 large-scale episodes released every year or so. The BBC is currently searching for a new showrunner for a fresh season in 2027 or 2028. Names reportedly being considered include Jack Thorne, who's apparently just written a Lord of the Flies series for the BBC, which they are incredibly pleased with. I bet they are. Neil Cross, Miguel Sapochnik, approached but unlikely, and Sally Wainwright again. However, I have heard that RTD and Bad Wolf are strongly pushing for Pete McTighe, however you want to say it, to take over, while the BBC is less enthusiastic. The new Doctor also won't be cast until the next showrunner is decided. Okay, have you all got that? Great. Let's discuss then, shall we? What a load of baloney.
Well, I'm hoping that amongst all that, they'll explain Mavity at least, and I'll sleep with it. You know?
As I keep saying, though, from what that list said, it's an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be relying on people to watch it. He's trapped in a regeneration that was shown on screen 18, 19 months before by the time this is transmitted. It's like, who's going to remember that? And more importantly, who's going to care?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the thing. And how is it Christmassy? How is it Christmassy? You know, it's the Christmas episode. And as we all know in the UK, if you're going to put something on Christmas Day, which this will undoubtedly be on, because that's where it goes.
Yeah.
We've got this whole thing about you've got the not we's on Christmas, and the BBC will be desperate this year to try and get people back to watching BBC One Watch this space, because they will panic now, and they were looking at what can they bring back from 40 years ago that's going to bring an audience in. You know, well, I wouldn't be surprised if AbFab turns up again or something like that, because of the success of Gavin and Stacey and Wallace and Gromit last year, the year before. So, you know, Doctor Who will be a strong element in the mix, but it's going to have to be accessible to the not we's. And as I've said before, if they're going to start preaching or explaining stuff that happened 2 or 3 years ago, as well as last year, which nobody watched, people will switch it off immediately, because they'll go, no.
But from what we've had the past 2 years, these rumours sound hugely credible, don't you think? Because they're not beyond possibility, because we've had crap like this before. And the idea of Tennant coming back does not surprise me at all if that is in fact true. He'd come back for an opening of an envelope, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. But it's kind of, it's probably going to happen, you know, which is quite sad.
I think he'd love the opportunity to bring back Rose and Rose.
Yeah.
I think he'd love to be able to do that. That's the kind of thing that would definitely get him all excited, really. I can't imagine Gatwa coming back because he went under a toxic cloud. And but then again, RTD's part of that toxic cloud, isn't he? And why they're even spending any time with him whatsoever is unreal. But they really have to shut the door on him and Bad Wolf after this. They can't let them have any sway on where this series goes afterwards, if indeed it continues.
They need to simplify things, as you were saying, JT, to bring in any possible new viewers, which is unlikely anyway.
Yeah.
It has to be accessible. And on Christmas Day, and I think Russell and Stephen Moffat said it themselves, that it has to be fluffy and fun because people have been drinking on Christmas Day. It's a family thing. They're not that engaged. That's why they'd Feast to Stephen on Christmas 65, because people weren't watching telly. They were just having Christmas. You know what I mean? So they want to have something that's you can just switch your brain off to. Surely not something that's going to explain 2 years of continuity. You know,
the easiest thing to do would be, as I've said before, just let the thing go for a couple of years, find your new production team, then bring it back. And if you want to bring it back for Christmas Day, fine. The easiest thing to do would be, even this year, is to kick it off with a new doctor turning up, and that's it. No explanation, no acknowledgement of what's happened over the past God knows how many years. Starting again with a new one coming in and the story going around and meeting his new companion down the Christmas shops or something like that, and off they go. You know, but we know what RTD's like, and I see what you're saying about these rumors. He will try and continue it,
because I reckon if he's chosen, that's the problem. If he's chosen the next Doctor as well, you've got that to contend with. So how that's going to pan out, I don't know. So I'd imagine if he is, he's going to save that to surprise to the last 10, 15 minutes of the episode. You'll see him, or probably her, I'd imagine, for the next one again, which is frustrating. But they'll probably, because there's been lots of speculation about a woman who was in, is it Jack Thorne you mentioned, who's a possible showrunner. He did Adolescence, didn't he? So he did that. So
we're going to talk about that in a second.
So I think she was one of the actors, and that has been So okay, so there's that kind of thing going on as well. So I reckon that whoever they cast will be there for the last minute, and if this has something to do with it, then that's what's going to happen. Or the new possible showrunner might have chosen them for their vision of the show. But even so, it's what we had a regeneration by bringing back all this baggage, and they'll have all this other stuff about probably Rose being not the Doctor but being the Moment, or Bad Wolf, or something like that kind of thing, you know. And it's like, that was 20 years ago. We're not interested anymore, you know. It's like
a lot of these rumors, though, like I said before, certainly just come from the desperation of fans, because nothing's coming through. They have not been used to a certain age group of fandom today. They're not used to not being fed things. They're not used to a gap like this. They usually get some sort of tidbit from somebody. So instead of that, instead of waiting, they've gone back and they've just done their own wishes. Oh, I think this and I think that. I mean, because nobody's working on this thing last night. Russell hasn't finished Tiptoe yet for Channel 4 Red Productions. And he made it very clear, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, that he won't start on Doctor Who. He won't even start writing the 26th Christmas episode until he's finished with Red Productions and Channel 4.
Yeah.
And it's not there. Rick Storm is saying to us, so how will they find the new 16th Doctor if they are not casting until a new showrunner is announced? Exactly. Now, I've asked various contacts I have in the industry, and there has been no casting call for the Doctor going out at all. None at all. So that one can be put down, you know, to just gossip and speculation. Bill is saying to us, 1 hour of RTD apologising, that would help tie up loose ends.
That's the Queen's speech.
Knowing the way he likes to drag everything back from the previous classic series, even though he's always said you don't need to know anything about it, he probably won't have Rose as the Moment. He'll probably have her as the Watcher from Legopolis. And the boss figure will probably be Boss from the Green Death. You know, and everybody will be expected to know who it is, even though the only people that would know are the ones that this wasn't made for and have been out touching grass.
And the boss was clinging to the TARDIS all that time since the Green Death. That's of course.
It ended up in the console. We've got from Digby here, the words new Dalek design have had an ominous ring ever since the Teletubby Daleks of Victory and the Junkyard Daleks of Resolution, whatever that is. Oh, that'd be Jodie Whittaker, I guess.
Yeah. At least those were a one-off. They weren't meant to be the new design. They were one-off as part of the narrative. They were all crap, but it was better than the Teletubby ones. But
Robert's with us. Hello, Robert. How are you, Robert Thomas? Susan Foreman is definitely one loose end. Will we see a Doctor Who Christmas return of Caroline Ford? Do you know, after being cut and left on the cutting room floor, after being courted, if you like to use that old-fashioned term, by RTD, oh, come back. I'd tell him where to go, wouldn't you? She went all the way down to Cardiff. She learned her lines. She did her bits. She's the original Doctor Who companion from back in the day, the only one of the original TARDIS team left. And they had to cut her because Gatwa decided to leave. I'd tell him where to go.
I don't know why they kept her in at all, because she was in the Eurovision episode. I don't know why they just cut her out completely, because that made more sense. Because that little hint of it was pointless, But
it was completely pointless.
Yeah. But this is why he could go back to that at any point, doesn't he? As they're saying there in the chat, and bring her back. Jason Parker, hello, mate. The draft script, aka the final script, judging RTD's record. I hope the so-called Christmas special never materializes. Ooh, stop press. RTD's final. Alleluia. Again, it's a rumor. It wouldn't surprise me, but they should have just let him go now and started afresh.
Yeah. I still don't understand why, apart from the fact it was rubbish, why Disney waited to screen the fishy thing and they didn't do it at the same time as BBC. Why that was brought back earlier? Is that contractual things to get Doctor Who again want to finish their association with Disney? Is there a contractual thing going on there? Why did they just drop it and get shot of it at the same time?
No idea. I don't know if we'll ever know now either, because of course it's in the hands of private businesses. We don't need to know. Somebody might squeal, talk in 10, 15 years time or something, but they'll be very brave. But I doubt it. Disney's not going to explain. Maybe they just didn't want. I've got this personal theory, that the BBC just wanted it gone and out the way so they could forget about it and put the Blu-ray out for Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
not that it's sold. Hello, Seagull. How are you? Knowing the BBC, it will be Shooty Gatwa's generation game. Oh, God, don't say that. Okay, that would be a massive flop, wouldn't it? Instant mad flop. What we got here as well, we've got some super chats that I'm chasing. Thank you very much for your chat. It's going very, very quickly. Got this one from Andrew Dexter. Anything to do with RTD from new episodes to showrunners don't. He will burn the Who house down before he goes. He's already lit the matches a few years ago. He started when he came back angry and did what he did to Davros in Davros Gate.
Yeah,
that's when we knew something was wrong. We've also got this super chat here from Darren. Hello, Darren. How are you? Right, Daz. RTD and his obsession with Rose needs to be put down. Hopefully, he will put himself out of his misery. I agree. Why can't he move on? That was 21 years ago. I think it overestimates the popularity of Billy Piper and David Tennant. That's the problem. They're not as popular as they used to be because they've been done to death. So yeah. And also because Tennant's made himself unlikable in Britain. Yeah, as well. There is that. I think it's very unhealthy that he does have this obsession with the Doctor and Rose from 21 years ago. Again, it's something we've never had in Doctor Who really before. This obsession with that partnership. Let it go. Let it go. It's a shame, really, isn't it? Thanks for your super chat, Daz. And we've also got this super chat from Cool and Dry again. The 2026 Christmas episode is the prostrate exam of Doctor Who stories. You know it's coming. You don't want it. You just want it over. But you know what? The brave thing about it, mate, is that throughout this year, it's going to, as I said last night, it's going to generate a hell of a lot of news for us to report on this show. So we can all get back together and talk about it as it goes on. Because I guarantee you, it's going to be rough, some of the stuff we learned this year. Anima Mundi 641. Hello to you, Anima Mundi. I've heard the Christmas special is called The Lost Dog. Omega returns and eats all the fish people. He gets even brainier because he's full of omega-3. I thought we were bringing back Sutek as a dog again as well. Yeah. Popcorn Power saying to us, Dalek redesign. Of course, RTD is going to make them into human formed. I can't say that word because Daleks are not the disabled. That's the problem. We've said this before. Yeah. The Daleks are problematic. That's why shooting. That's the thing. If they're problematic, leave them alone. Just forget about them. Move on.
Leave them alone.
Leave them. Do your own crap. The problem is
the history. It's fine.
He did go and do his own crap, and nobody liked it because he's got no imagination. So if you're going to use the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the classics, you have to write them properly and forget all your ideological nonsense that you put on them. You can't change them in any way, shape, or form. And this is, I just think, if he does decide it's going to be watered down, they won't be the warmongers that we know that they are. They won't be as nasty. He'll do something to make them all lovey-dovey.
It might be called An Exciting Adventure with the Toclafane. That'll be the Christmas episode.
He wouldn't even do that now because that would be too gruesome, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Another super chat from Mark Reeves. Thank you so much, Mark. Because of the backlash of his last run, he's going to start new plot devices without explanation of the old ones, making an even bigger mess impossible for the new showrunner to fix. He's that petty.
Yeah. There was a rumor going about that because he's not written it, it's a complete nonsense that the BBC are thinking, "Oh my God, this episode is superb! Shut the front door, it's amazing." But if he's not written it, how can that be possible? They've actually seen it. He's sold them another idea, and they've liked it allegedly. It's like, really? How stupid are the BBC, or how gullible?
Terribly stupid.
Yeah.
We know they are, and the BBC now is full of so-called alleged activists. So they've lost so much entertainment for the simple reason it's all about the message now, isn't it? It's all about the agendas, the DEI tick boxing. As Paul Schlechter is saying to us here, they've kept RTD because the BBC just don't know what to do with the series. Paul, I totally agree with you. They think that RTD is the biggest Noel Doctor Who fan ever. He had this big hit in 2005, steady hit 6, 7, 8, and 9 to an extent. They were doing well out of it. The merchandise was selling well out of it. They think that because he did that, he can do it again. They haven't learned from the fact he's just had a go, and it was a massive, massive flop. Probably the biggest flop of his career, next to that drama he did for ITV about the fellow that won the national lottery in Wales.
With Griffith's Jones.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Which no one remembers. But no, you're right. I agree with you on that one, Paul. Lots of you in the chat. It's great to see you all. Paul mentioned something just there about another rumor that went on, and I've actually got the story here. And I'm going to say this, and you can love me or loathe me. I don't care. There should never be another female Doctor Who, because the first one got it wrong, and it proved beautifully that the Doctor is a male of his species. We don't want all this DEI tick boxing bullshit. Pardon my French. But here's another one which shows where we are now at with Doctor Who in the press in the UK. In the Metro, adolescent star addresses claim they're going to be the next lead of Doctor Who. Now, this one's come from December the 30th. I've been sitting on this while we've had our break. But here it goes. After Ncuti Gatwa appeared to regenerate into Billie Piper during the 2025 finale of Doctor Who, fans have been left guessing who the next person taking on the titular role will be. A star from the culture-defining Netflix show, Yawn, Adolescents, has spoken about speculation they might be starring in the legendary show. Speaking to Radio Times, Erin Doherty, who's 33, said, "I've heard the Doctor Who rumour, and I'm into sci-fi and fantasy, but I can honestly say there have been no discussions." So who is Erin Doherty, I hear you at? Well, here she is here. Now, I know her from playing Princess Anne in The Crown. No?
I'm sorry, how do you see a doctor in that actor? I'm not sure. I can't see the Doctor there at all. I really can't.
But again, I can't see the Doctor there because it's a woman.
Yeah.
I didn't want a female Doctor in 1981. I didn't want one when they actually did it, and I certainly don't want one now because I don't think it's a way to fix the series. Anyway, the article carries on with this nonsense. Unfortunately for us, there's been no Doctor Who Christmas special this year, with the last series finishing in the summer. However, fans were treated. Yes, you were all treated. How lucky you are. To a spin-off series, The War Between the Land and the Sea, which became one of the BBC's biggest 2025 launches, which I think we proved last night on Headlines. It certainly didn't, Metro. Next year, we'll be getting the festive dose of RTD that was missing from our screens with a Doctor Who Christmas special by the
You get penicillin for that, I believe.
Yeah, that's all you need, a dose of him, isn't it?
Yeah. But look at this, the epic writer. See, they all believe the mythology that's around him now. Erin's notoriety reached new levels when she played Bryony Iriston, the child psychologist in Adolescents. On Rumours about the show coming back for a new series, she told Radio Times, "I haven't heard anything about Adolescents either, but of course I would do it again." The 33-year-old won an Emmy for her performance and was nominated for a Golden Globe. There you are. There you go. So that's who you were talking about, Paul.
Yeah, and Jack Thorne, he wrote Adolescents, didn't he? And he's the one who's potential showrunner. So that would, in terms of connecting the dots, that would make sense. But like you, I don't want another woman. I did have a sigh of relief when Ncuti did it initially, thinking, my God, at least he's a guy. And that's hugely sexist. I know, but I agree with you. It has to be a man. It doesn't work as a woman. It hasn't worked.
And I think if he's writing it, I don't know anything about him, and I didn't watch Adolescence. I know about it, obviously, but if he wrote it, and the large part of the problem was an entirely different demographic to the one that he wrote about in his program, then he's also part of the problem in my book.
Yeah. Well, it said in the previous article you talked about him doing a production of Lord of the Flies, which when I was a kid, I loved that book at school, and the movie version from the 60s is scary as hell. Great film.
Isn't it? Yeah,
terrible. I can't imagine him doing a TV version of that. It'll be watered down and sanitized to hell, probably. But
I'd be surprised that they would actually even look at Lord of the Flies, because it's an all-male cast.
Yeah.
So what have they done? Stuck some trans men in there now to balance up the DEI?
They will do.
Yeah.
They will do. You know they will.
But that film, Paul, that you're talking about, it's incredibly frightening. We were shown that at school.
Yeah. Great film.
When we were reading Lord of the Flies, I bet they don't do that now because of all these alleged activist teachers now. We're too busy teaching them there's more than one bloody two genders, and it just annoys me, the whole thing. There's Hugh Janus, thank you for your super chat, mate. How are you? Is a big meaty mutant clam problematic?
Depends what you do with it, I suppose, doesn't it, really?
It was to Harry.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It's only because he put his foot in it.
Literally. I love this one. Nuclear Bum Records. Hello to you. Good to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. I have not seen you before, so welcome. I don't think RTD's initial big hit was as big as it appeared. A lot of older fans were watching with gritted teeth, hopeful that it would improve, which it did briefly. They've since waved goodbye. And the problem with that, of course, Nuclear Bum Records, is because two reiterations of the show, and I'm talking the Chibnall era and RTD2 era, told fans to bugger off.
Yeah.
That's how nonsensical these people are, telling their audience, especially an audience that Doctor Who has, which is a fan base. We don't want you. It's not for you. Isn't that ridiculous? Go away. It's not for you. Well, you don't have an audience now, you clever little... Oh, that's the other problem with anything that's coming back for this Christmas. Who the hell is it for, and who's going to watch it?
When they get really defensive saying things like that, it's like, surely it's up to you to decide if it's for you or not the writers. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you watch it. If you like it, that's your choice. If you don't like it, that's equally your choice. But don't tell me it's not for me.
And don't get at people if they criticize it, like we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. Even on our Facebook page, Who's Views, I'll get messages from people, comments from people, criticizing or overtly being nasty to us. Eventually, I lose, my patience and have to bugger off. But, it's a case of like, no, you don't have to like everything. Just because you're a fan, you don't have to like everything. Do you, Mr. Angry Face on Facebook? I'll name you next week when I remember your name, I tell you. The core of sci-fi fantasy. Thank you so much for your super chat, my friend. I can't stand Tennant. Join the club. He was completely miscast, and I actually stopped watching after his first season. The Fear Her was the last straw. I see what you did there.
It wasn't.
That's very good, that, wasn't it? The old ball of... yeah. I returned when Matt was cast, who's my favourite, and stopped after Twice Upon a Time. I can relate to that completely and utterly. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't like David Tennant. I don't think I ever really liked David Tennant as Doctor Who, because I again thought, no, he was playing Tom.
Yeah.
For me, I saw too much of Tom, even through some of the movements or the exaggerations of the voice, and I couldn't quite guess it. And the only time I realized what he was doing was with Catherine Tate in the library episodes.
Yeah.
And even that was spoiled because of River Song. But I wasn't sad to see him go. Matt Smith, I think, is genius as the Doctor. At least he did some sort of research, Yeah.
And Peter Capaldi was superb as well.
Excellent.
I think he was really such gravitas, really good.
Just wish he'd done decent stories. It would have made such a difference, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We've often said that, haven't we, about that?
Yeah.
Was
imagine him in something like Dalek or something like that. He'd be superb, you know what I mean? So
they say this about Whittaker, though. She was let down by the writing, and sometimes I think I'm not going to say that anymore about Capaldi, because Capaldi is 1,000 times the actress she is. The actress.
So what he did was he made like Tom did. You watch him and really enjoy his performance, and although the episode was a bit crap, you enjoyed what he did. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Another thank you here to PTA for your super chat. If the rumours are true, RTD is throwing together way too many ideas. No shock there, eh? As JT says, just start with a new Doctor and do a decent sci-fi story. The trouble is RTD writes sci-fi is a hideous oxymoron. Go away, Russell. I hate to think what kitchen sink PTA you throw in at Christmas.
Yeah.
The one I don't like, and I was reminded about this because I briefly glimpsed it for the first time since it was on originally. I think it was 2013. Was that awful thing Moffat wrote for Matt Smith's last one, which I think was called
Time with the Doctor. It's bloody awful. It really is awful. Yeah.
Do you know what? Well, it was on one of the channels when I was at my mum's, and I came across it, and I watched it for a minute thinking, which one is this? Because, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be his last one. And it was all set in the bloody Clara's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apparently he was supposed to be naked at the time. I remember thinking, this is why I didn't like it the first time around. It's cringe. It's just
it's all that episode's all over the place. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's worse than End of Time, which is hard to believe. It really is. But yeah.
Yeah. At some point we'll review those episodes when I'm feeling brave.
Oh, good.
I could never work out, how the Doctor was supposed to cook a turkey on behalf of Clara, who'd forgotten, by just sticking it in the TARDIS and advancing time. That would just make the turkey go mouldy and go off. It wouldn't cook it. It just didn't make sense to me. The whole thing was an absolute mess. All of it.
I'd forgotten how much of a mess it was until I saw that little snippet, Ian, and then I thought, no, I'm not watching this because I remembered the episode for being bad.
Yeah,
there's loads of bad bits in it. The bit that annoyed me the most was the fact that another tangent coming on here. The bit where the Doctor's old and he gets his regeneration energy from the Time Lords. Then he goes berserk and destroys everything. Goes back to the TARDIS and he's back to Matt Smith again. And he says it's the reset. When did that happen? When did that happen? It's like he should have been an old man and then regenerated. That was the point of the story. You know what I mean? So
staying on this tangent, that's the point where they should have said and made it far more clear from that moment on that this was a new set of lives. So therefore he could have become a woman.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't bother, did they? They didn't bother. Lex, thank you for your super chat. RTD got big competition. Avengers Doomsday. Oh, is that out this year, is it?
Is that coming out at Christmas, is it? Next year? This year?
Yeah. I didn't know that. At all. And digital pheromone. How do you spell that? I'd say that pheromone.
Pheromone.
Oh, thank you, Third Doctor Ian. Digital pheromone. Will the cliffhanger be a Star Trek link for the surprise crossover? We talked about
with a little cameo of Whoopi Goldberg at the end of it.
Yeah. We talked about Whoopi Goldberg and RTD last night. Now, apparently, a lot of the Bad Wolf production team were also at New York. They've been seen at Whoopsie's show, The View, which, of course, is the American version of ITV's incredibly awful Loose Women. And it's basically when you've got a load of left-wingers sitting around a desk moaning about the right-wingers and not keeping up to date at all because the world is changing. It's not going to be a lot about left and right at some point. It's going to be about, truth and not truth, isn't it? Or whatever. But anyway, that they were there and they were in the audience and they were also over there. So speculation, guys, has gone on. Again, a rumor that they're all over there talking to Paramount. Now, you know something about this, don't you, Paul?
Well, I heard rumors that they could be the next streamer. But it's like if talking from a Star Trek fan's point of view, and I'm not a massive Star Trek fan, so I like Star Trek, but I'm not as massive fan as I am Doctor Who. But they've already ruined Star Trek, haven't they? So if they get Doctor Who, will they make it even worse? I mean,
I mean, why even Paramount? I do think that there'll be a part of me that it's not just over there for a jolly. If you're going to go over there and you're in New York, you do some networking, don't you? So it would be silly of them not to. But I think, hang on a minute. Why are you desperate for American money?
I think if RTD is doing his final ever episode for Doctor Who at Christmas, then there's no point in him trying to engage with Paramount unless he's trying to get a job with them for something else.
Unless you put the hat around trying to get money for the production,
Well, yeah, because I mean, they always say, don't they? He's not an employee of Bad Wolf or whatever, or is he? I can't remember what the status of him is, but I could imagine Bad Wolf trying to make connections in there to try and strong arm the BBC into letting them continue it, but they just need, like I said, they need to shut the door on them completely.
It's very suspect, isn't it, that they're over there talking. Again, this year we're going to see what's happening. I was saying to a couple of people from the chat have got in touch with me, Who viewers have got in touch with me by email or comments saying, oh, look, do you think they're talking to Paramount, part of that rumor, etc., etc.? Nothing can be done without the BBC. Doctor Who is owned still by BBC Studios. It's not owned by Bad Wolf. So where's BBC Studios?
To be fair, Bad Wolf could just be speculating for business for their own productions, not just Doctor Who, because they are a business. So they could be their own stuff they're trying to get money for, or connections or funding or whatever, So
absolutely. Oh, and I need at this point when I remember to say to certain American commentators, Russell T Davies does not own Bad Wolf.
No.
He's an
Or Doctor Who.
employee. Or Doctor Who. He's an employee of Bad Wolf. He's got nothing to do with the business. That's Julie Gardner and Jane Tranter. That's them. That's their business. They started it. Russell didn't. They named it Bad Wolf because of their success involved with Doctor Who. Okay. Yeah. So to certain American commentators, there you go. You can have that for free. Anton Brannigan's with us saying, great to have you three gentlemen back together and in top form. Well, thank you, Anton.
That's nice.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Paul Richards is saying to us, Capaldi is my favourite modern Doctor. He has real gravitas. Tennant is so OTT. Going to be talking about Capaldi in this show as well, Paul, so stay with us. And Tennant gave a one-note performance. Overrated, said Lena James. It's amazing how it comes out now. There's a Facebook page which is devoted to David Tennant, and by God, they love him. So I'll always go on and wind them up a little bit by saying he was crap. What are you talking about? He's horrible. Nobody likes him anymore. Rah! They hate it, but I love it. Get a perverse kick out of it all, I have to say. Problem Beings with us. Hello, PB. I always thought Tennant acted more like a used car salesman than the Doctor. Matt Smith knocked it out of the park, especially in his early seasons. I think his first one, where he's finding his feet, is probably one of the strongest.
Yeah, he nailed it right away. He really did.
Yeah. From his first episode onwards, from the 11th hour onwards, really, didn't he? It's like the old saying, isn't it? You cried over the Doctor regenerating, but then you forgot about him 10 minutes into the next one's episode. That was certainly the case, I thought, with Smith. You forgot about Tennant almost immediately. John Mason saying Tennant to the worst aspects of Tom's era and ramped them up. And Manden Spiel saying Tennant outstayed his welcome. Julie Ann's with us as well. Hello, lovely. Tennant is so irritating. That bloke in Traitors who looks like him is even putting me off watching that. Oh, really? There's somebody that looks like him. Oh, poor fella. Poor fella.
It's not David Tennant. Is he do anything for the money? Surely, maybe him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he would, wouldn't he? Lots of you are getting onto this one now, talking about Tennant and Smith. David Williams is saying to us, RTD should never have attacked the fans. Core fans provide the trust equity that sustains a brand through low periods. Totally agree with you, David. But the problem is that I've got this theory, because it happened with Star Wars and Star Trek and everything else as well. And I think it's because all these bloody idiots who didn't understand the shows they were getting into came in to run them. And all they saw was their own prejudice, in a sense, by thinking science fiction is just full of white heterosexual males who need to be told that the world's changed. How wrong they were, and how many people have they alienated from all the big giants of sci-fi? All of us, really. Even did it with bloody Lord of the Rings eventually as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
That crappy television show. But no, David, I totally agree with you on that. I don't know what you guys think about that.
It just gets me mad thinking about it, to be fair. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
It just, you have to just sometimes just take a step back, don't you? Otherwise you'd lose your sanity. That's all I can say on that one, really. It's just,
Well, we're all agreeing with you, David. That's the thing. We've got David Shaw joining us as well, saying, hi, panel. I heard Doctor Who is back for 2026 and the Daleks are to return with another Doctor. David, you must have only just joined us. We are actually currently right now talking about that in the rumours section. It's all rumours. This is the slide I was sent by Vasco. Again, thank you so much for sending this to me. And I mean, the working title is The Lost Doctor. How the hell would a working title get out into the public domain? It just wouldn't. It never has done before. It hasn't done, over the last few years.
Apart from the Island of Fandor, that was a cracker, that one, wasn't it?
I mean, when you look at these things that have come out, this is just the tip of the iceberg, obviously. We've now got the press jumping on this with who's going to be the new Doctor. They're obviously very convinced it's not going to be Billy Piper. And none of us are, really. None of us are. But this is where we're at. For me, it's just absolute nonsense, the lot of it. Absolute nonsense, And I think it's sad as well that it doesn't bode well for, as I say, if the other rumour that hit yesterday is true and the show is going, please let it go on another hiatus after 2026. It's like I said last year. It's already started happening, but not to the extent I expected it to. The minority of fans are going to have a breakdown.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing it now because they can't bear the fact that it's off air for a year, that there's nothing in production. They didn't get a Christmas 25. Some of them have had a little meltdown. But can you imagine if it comes back and the BBC say, no, we're taking it off the air for anywhere up to 5 years?
Well, I don't think they'll make that kind of announcement. I reckon we'll get the exact same flannel as we got back in '89, and that's another topic for another show. Plug. But
Yes.
so I think we'll get the same kind of flannel for like that probably, and they'll just drip feed rubbish for 10 years or whatever, But,
God, those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah,
but we never lost hope, even with nothing.
Now we
never
don't
lost
care.
hope, did we? Now, absolutely, we don't care.
Well, we were far more sensible. Do you remember? Because we actually had some decent quality merchandise. If you wanted it, you had the Virgin books. We had the New Adventures, which spun off into the Missing Adventures. We had the release of the VHSs, which took 20 years to release and kept us going. To be quite honest, then on the back of that, in 1999, guess what? The DVDs started to appear. Big Finish appeared when they were good at their first one with Iron Time.
Yeah.
We had Doctor Who Monthly, Doctor Who Magazine carrying on with a very comprehensive comic strip and loads of stuff that we hadn't had before. As suddenly everybody started to talk. It was wonderful. There were loads of conventions. This time round, we haven't got a healthy show to move that on. And there's not enough fandom to want to put all the effort in now, I don't think.
What needs to happen is fandom has to be reunited. And that's not going to happen because we're constantly squabbling over everything. And that's been caused by the show itself, which is quite sad.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, there's always been squabbles, hasn't they? And you get that
but
in
not to this extent.
Not to this extent. I think you always had squabbles, and you get that everywhere. You get it. Everything where there's groups of people that like a particular thing, you get it in football teams. Even fans of the same team will argue about aspects of their team and aspects of the performance, just like Star Trek fans will do the same, and all the rest. But what this new Who, and particularly RTD and all his acolytes and everything, that very far left mentality have introduced, is what they introduce everywhere. They've introduced hate. And they fuel that hate by accusing other people of hate, but actually it's them, and it's riddled with it now. So I agree with what you were saying, Paul. It's that goodwill and that you were pointing out, JT. It's just not there anymore.
No, and this is why I don't think Doctor Who will survive in any future hiatus years. With the magic it had with the original Wilderness years. Chorus Sci-Fi Fantasy, thank you for your super chat. I feel I should stick up for the time of the Doctor. Fine. I watched the repeat at Christmas and really enjoyed it. I was sad when Matt left, and at least time feels like Doctor Who versus the last few seasons. Well, I would agree that I'm sure it felt a little more like Doctor Who, but as you'll know, Core, I can't stand all the soap opera crap in Doctor Who. I don't want it. I don't want to see a companion at home. I don't want to see him making Christmas lunch. I don't want to know who a family is. I want them out there fighting Daleks and Cybermen, Sontarans and Zygons.
The thing about that episode, that the actual soap opera part's quite small in the episode, but the rest of the episode's a bit. It's like set pieces. You know what I mean? In it, and it doesn't make any sense.
And didn't he try to explain the silence in the church and Madame Cavorian and all that?
Yeah,
but because of course he wouldn't get Francis back.
Yeah,
they had. I remember that at the time because Francis wouldn't have come back. Allegedly, there was a falling out. Allegedly, but I keep meaning to ask her. I should ask her one day. And a case of she wasn't coming back, so he had to. And of course, he was rushing with it as well because Matt Smith had decided that's it, I'm done, and he was off, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, they were very lucky to get him back for the episode, quite frankly, because he was already starting to do other work. That's a whole period of Doctor Who's history I'm looking forward to somebody starting to talk about.
Yeah, he was just going into one of the Terminator films, wasn't he? At that point,
and he had shaved his head as well.
Short hair and everything.
He had to bring it to the show, didn't he? Didn't the Doctor take off a wig?
Yeah.
I
mean, that's representation for us, obviously, but
and I was so happy about it.
Yeah.
Lex, thank you for your super chat. Avenger Doomsday, 18th of December 2026, and it will beat RTD Who. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you can't really compare a film though to something that's on the telly because it's two different mediums.
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. I don't think it's fair to do that necessarily, but I don't even know if the new Avengers film is going to be that big. Who cares?
Well, having seen over Christmas, I saw the new Avengers movie. Was it called Thunderbolts? And it was an okay film, but the actual characters in it don't have the same charisma as the Avengers had, which is part of the problem, But
yeah. Jack is saying to us, I watched Time of the Doctor Christmas and I enjoyed it, but it's probably because of all the crap that came after it.
Yeah.
Possibly that. Graham is saying, spot on, JT, the soap stuff in Modern Who really puts me off. I can't stand it. And I don't know why they have to keep doing it now. The first series and a bit, I could understand, or we don't know who the audience is. They're used to this, but please. PB is saying to us, some channels who shall remain unnamed are parading this round like it's gospel. Apparently there's other channels. I don't know what anybody's talking about like that. I mean, no.
It's news to me.
No. And if there were, they probably only do what we do. And Jason Parker,
even if they are, they've got connections. Like I said before, my connections, the Janny at Bad Wolf, he tells me everything.
The connections we have can't say anything at the moment because nothing's happening and they don't get to hear. The Jason Parker is saying, Tennant, remember the ITV game show career he had last year? No, neither do I. Yes. That was a massive flop. It's been axed by ITV. It cost them a fortune, and they've axed it. Mass is saying to us, I love Tennant, and he ruined it by returning to Doctor Who for the 60th anniversary. David Tennant, it's not all about you. I have to totally agree with that. And also, I blame RTD for that as well, for actually not just bringing back the 10th Doctor and Donna before Donna's mind is erased, which it should have been. It would have been a lot easier. But they also destroyed that wonderful ending for Donna. We said this last night. Never going to forgive him for that because it's been watered down now. It's ridiculous. That's why the Star Beasts and those 3 specials for me are not canon. Well, and I've got this. Sorry, Paul, just a second. I've got this one from Jack as well. Saying, I have a theory that RTD, Julie, and Jay never cared about Doctor Who. They just used it to grift their careers to America. Go on, Paul.
I was going to say I think they actually killed the Donna character arc in the End of Time as well. If they'd left it at Johnny's end and that's how it ended, that was very sad, very moving when he wiped her mind. That was it. Should have left it like that. In the same way, she did that with Rose, when Rose was trapped in a parallel universe, all that emotion, brilliant stuff, great ending. But they brought her back. That killed it stone dead.
Totally.
So there's no drama, there's no tension, all that. You think, well, if you ever watch it again, you'll think, what's the point? Because you know what's coming. And
the fact, of course, that RTD can't write now as well. It was like that, wasn't it? Snap the things, and it was all done. She was cured through binary crap or whatever it was.
It's like bringing Joe Grant back in the Planet Spiders, and she does with the crystal herself. I don't want to see that because that was lovely. Green Death when she left, very emotional. Bringing her back then would have been rubbish. You know what I mean? But they had more sense, though.
Yeah. A lot of you talking about this now. It'd be interesting to hear what you think about all the rumours. Are you believing them? Are you not believing them? Keep your chats coming. Marie UK saying they're Tennant Who. Exactly. Derek is with us saying, surprised there wasn't a dope door as you get on EastEnders before the Who theme mixed end. Oh, the sort of, that thing. Yeah. The drums.
The doof, I think they're called,
So Popcorn Power is also saying to us, what if RTD could never write? What if he was just surrounded by good writers to fix his crap?
Yeah. We've said that many times about season 1, the fact that he was had more talented writers around him, and that helped make it a success. It wasn't just him,
And he had oversight, didn't he, generally, on what he was trying to do, which he's not had now, and it's shown.
I've said for the last few years, haven't I? He needs a damn good, strong script editor that will stand up to his crap and say, listen, you've just given me a script here that's a 60-minute episode, but it's got 24 ideas in it. Can you just whittle it down to 2?
Come back, Mal Young.
Yeah. Take all your DEI bullshit out of it as well, pardon my French. We've also got reviews, rants and religion here saying Time of the Doctor was just confusing and I still can never figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's because
you also had Moffat's constant going on. He was always doing this, wasn't he? Sort of like thinly veiled sexual references. He could never avoid it, could he? So they go there, and he lands on that ship where the woman is, who's head of the religious church soldiers, and he says, "Why is your altar like a bed?" And it's no, "Why is my bed like an altar?" It's just why do you need to do that? Why do you need that in Doctor Who? It's because are you just some kind of sexually obsessed twat that has to put it in every script you write?
And then he brought back Amy's crack as well, which speaks for itself, doesn't it? Excuse me, but yeah.
Well,
was that in the latest Electric Blue, Paul?
It possibly was, yeah. That's Karen Gillan short for money, and that's it. Yeah,
that's the sort of thing I don't like in Doctor Who. All this innuendo. It's not Doctor Who, and Doctor Who was always better than that. Always better than that. And yet these idiots that have come in and taken it on over the last 21 years have had to do the same thing. Even Chibnall did it, apparently, as we were saying last night. We're trying to get his doctor, the woman one, with the companion, whose name I don't know. So,
I mean, they had a bed in the console room and everything. You expected an episode of bloody scissoring. I don't know. It was just horrendous.
But the trouble was what happened was that was fan speculation out with the season. He read that and thought, yes, let's do that. That's what they want. And we didn't. We don't want any romance at all. The Doctor, whether male or female, is not interested in sex at all. He's an alien.
Yeah, he's a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. I will stick to that to my dying day. I don't care about what Chibnall's done. It doesn't count. Third Doctor Andy, thank you so much for saying hello to us and hope you're feeling better, JT. Welcome back. Thank you so much. It's lovely to be back and nice to see you. Thank you. Graham is saying, I totally agree. Absolutely no place for sexual innuendo in Doctor Who. Not when you've got kids watching as well. It is a family show here in the UK. And yet Moffat started this whole thing of writing for fans, especially American fans. Look what he did with River Song when he realized that the American fans especially were loving River Song. He kept bringing the bloody thing back. Leave it. As far as I'm concerned, she should have stayed in the library and forever have been a mystery.
As a one-off character, she was fine, but she would get very grating as she went on.
Yeah.
Very smug character,
Another female smartass that knew better than the Doctor. Clara, like Amy got, it just got
it's the same character, isn't it? Basically, just at a different name,
Well, because it's just again, it's down to the quality of the writing, and it just wasn't there. The impact wasn't there, and this leads us now to our next story quite nicely, because Peter Capaldi has just completed an absolutely fantastic interview here on the Tube of Who with an independent set of producers and a production team. Now, this interview, I don't think Capaldi would be the easiest person to interview, to be quite honest, until he gets to know what you're like. And I've watched this interview and he's very good, but he's very sort of, at the beginning, he's very looking everywhere.
He's cautious.
He is. Yeah. And there's also an element where I sometimes think they're going to ask me about Doctor Who and I don't really want to talk about Doctor Who. I think I get that feeling from him. He knows he's going to have to because it's going to be with him now forever. So he's done this. Now, we've got some of this now here because some of the press picked up on this wonderful interview, including this one from The Mirror. Exclusive Doctor Who icon says the show has lost way after forgetting key detail that made it a hit. So we've just been touching on some of these things. You see, you think we planned this, wouldn't you? Yes, indeed. Doctor Who is enduring the toughest moment since it was axed by former BBC One controller Michael Grade in 1989. Actually, just to put that right, it wasn't Michael Grade, The Mirror, that axed Doctor Who in 1989. He tried to do it in 85. In 1989, it was a gentleman called Peter Cregan. Anyway, there's a Doctor Who fan correcting you, The Mirror. They won't care. Following Russell T Davies's much criticised return as the showrunner. So, as I say, this is Peter at half the picture, where he's completing this interview. They talk, of course, about Malcolm Tucker as well as a couple of the other things, but it's mainly Tucker and the Doctor. Peter does try his very best to put in his latest Apple TV detective series into them, but they're not interested. They're not interested in it. Anyway, what The Mirror has picked up from on this article, from this interview, is Peter Capaldi says he knows why Doctor Who is in trouble. The former star of the show said the BBC has forgotten it's a show for kids. The sci-fi show is enduring the toughest moment since it was axed by former BBC One controller Michael Grade in 1989, following RTD's much criticised return as showrunner. RTD was the man responsible for reviving the show in 2005 and helping it achieve record viewing figures, and was brought back to reinvigorate the flagging programme following Chris Chibnall's time in charge of the TARDIS. Ooh, scathing. But with disappointing viewing figures, look, is the Mirror now actually admitting all this stuff? Storylines woke and fans not taking to Shooty in the role. The 33-year-old actor left after just 2 series, with the Time Lord regenerating as Billy Piper, who previously played companion Rose Tyler, and Disney pulling out of their streaming deal. Capaldi played the 12th Doctor from 2013 to 2017, and he is adamant the reasons for the beleaguered show's issues is because the BBC are too fixated on everything surrounding Doctor Who as a brand, as opposed to making a sci-fi series that appeals to the audience, which is what it began as in the 60s and continued to be throughout the 70s and 80s. The 67-year-old actor said, "The show became very, very big, and it was never like that when I loved it. So it became a different thing. I think the responsibilities of playing the part became more. There were more of them, more responsibilities, that means. There were more things that you had to do rather than just, I mean, think in the old days, you know, if John Pertwee or Tom Baker or something like that, you probably know you spend most of your year making it and then a bit of your year promoting it. But it wasn't this in your face kind of thing that suddenly was really important to the BBC or suddenly really important to a brand that had to be maintained. It was just a show that some kids really loved and other kids didn't care about, but wanted to watch football, or you grew out of, you know. It became this sort of very important thing, I think, less in a cultural way and more in an economic way. I think the show was a little bit of a victim of its own success. You know, the show that I love was a tiny thing, a little small thing that survived. It just survived, but nobody knew that it was worming its way into the culture in such a deep way. And I think that's what I have an affinity with. Shooty left his role as the 15th Doctor after just 2 seasons, and although Capaldi doesn't know what his motivation was, he can recall the huge fame that comes with playing the Time Lord takes its toll, and nothing can prepare you for being recognised everywhere you go, especially the recognition from young fans who believe you are the Doctor. Appearing on Half the Picture podcast, Capaldi said, "I don't think they can prep you really for it, because it's also about being famous. If you're not famous and then you're suddenly famous, I mean, I was well known, but not famous to that degree. That's a whole different ball game. It changes things." Matt and David were lovely because I knew and I spoke to them about it and they were great. David said to me, "You'll just be much more visible." And I didn't really quite know what he meant, but I sort of learned that it just meant people just recognized you all the time, which was quite nice. I mean, it was a little scary. It was scary because I knew that life would change in some way. And it's a genie, once that's out of the bottle, you can't put it back. So if you lose your privacy to that degree, it's quite an extreme kind of feeling. It makes you feel quite vulnerable. But I was lucky that I was older, that I wasn't a young actor who still had a huge career that they wanted to pursue or was going to clubs or pubs or anything like that. I was quiet and remained quite a dull person in that respect. There was nothing for them to see other than me going to Marks and Spencer's to get the macaroni and cheese for tea. Bless him. That's a Glasgow thing. It's very exposing. It makes you feel quite vulnerable, but it's also delightful. It's absolutely wonderful to have people look on you as Doctor Who and smile at you and be cheered up by your presence. And you don't want to disappoint people. That becomes a little bit of a strain. I think Matt said that to me. You don't want them to be the one kid that goes, "He was horrible. I love Doctor Who, but he was horrible," which Matt would never, ever be. You've always got that in the back of your head that you're, you know, if you're not very pleasant, then that would be toxic material, that it would be nuclear. It's a brilliant, brilliant interview with Peter. But again, I think, Paul, and you've seen this,
Yeah.
I got the whole impression from Peter that he's being very, when it comes to Doctor Who, he's being very polite. I reckon Mr. Capaldi could come out, because what he said there now, we're not going to disagree with.
Yeah.
I think he could say more. And I don't think, because he's an actor, because he's in the industry, because they have this whole thing of respecting each other and loving each other and all that sort of stuff, in case you have to work with somebody, I don't think he ever will.
And that's a shame, because I think if he has had a sour experience from doing it, it's really sad, because suddenly he loved it as a kid. There's some of the points he has made in the article that I might disagree with slightly. I think the seas was very big for Pertwee and Baker particularly. If you look at those wonderful pictures of the opening of the exhibition in 1974, with Pertwee surrounded by all these people like he's a rock star, that happened to them as well. Maybe not as much as may have happened to Capaldi going around the world, that kind of stuff, but it was hugely popular and quite intrusive. And I thought he may have understood that more as an actor, because you do become public property almost because you're so visible.
Yes.
I'm surprised at that reaction to that. He might not expected that from his own experience, probably with Malcolm Tucker as well, because Malcolm Tucker was huge for him. You know what I mean? So it must have started with that and added to it with Doctor Who. You know, but
Totally. I think I love the way of what he was saying there about he's put down to the fact what we all know is absolutely true. During Matt Smith's time, especially, Doctor Who became a brand. It became a franchise. Lex, thanks for your for your chat there. Rather, top marks Peter Capaldi. He's the Tom Baker of the 21st century. He was certainly, his performance was certainly more akin to my Doctors.
Yeah.
And I did feel an element of my Doctor, i.e. Baker, Pertwee, Troughton, because that's his era. That's what he knew. Thank you for that, mate. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing, we had never, as fans in Britain, ever considered Doctor Who to be a franchise until the modern version came along. And that was fairly recent. It was just a TV show. It wasn't a franchise. And they changed it. And that change came with Matt Smith, with the introduction of BBC America, I think, Paul.
It took the BBC such a long time to realise it had a real commodity on its hands and how financially beneficial they could get from it, you know, in terms of the merchandising, etc. You know, they'd suddenly realised they had something really valuable. It took them about 50 years to realise it, but they finally realised that, you know, so...
So the problem we've got there, though, as well, Paul, is the fact is there's been no consistency. And I've said this before.
Yeah.
It was BBC Enterprises, BBC Worldwide, BBC Studios, and your staff that were in charge of Doctor Who or looking after Doctor Who constantly churned. There's not one person there now today that was there 30 years ago for various reasons.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And to me, it didn't seem that there was any ever hand down from, this is what we've done with Doctor Who so far. This is where we're up to.
Yeah.
And so when it came, that's why everything was changed again. I mean, look at the mess that the marketing's in now. Again, looking for an audience that just isn't there. You know, it's the ticky-tocky crap. You know,
well, that's the thing. If you look at classic Who and how it developed with different people taking over, and it used to be directors, like Barry Letts was the director. He knew how it was made, then he became a producer, etc. And they had directors all through the 26 years, like Camfield or Derek Martinez or Graham Harper, being throughout the actual 26 years, and people knew how it was made. But they didn't have that at all when New Who came back at all, did they? They didn't know how to make it. That's the problem. Yeah.
No. And I think it's because, again, they didn't bother to go and look at people that had done it before and get their experience of it. I mean, I know for a fact, had in 2004, when RTD started bringing the show back, had John been around, Nathan Turner, he could have gone to Nathan Turner and he would have explained, you've got to go to the Terry Nation estate before you can work with the Daleks. You bloody you know?
But do you think, to be honest, that they would have done? I mean, just think back to that more recent chat with Tranter, Gardner, and Collinson, where they pour scorn on the classic series. They clearly look down on it and everybody that worked on it, and have just been quite happy to use it as a platform for what they wanted to do. And we've seen that with the way that RTD keeps constantly drawing on it. But they have nothing but contempt for that. They made that very, very clear. And I think Capaldi is incredibly polite. I bet, I would think possibly there may be a part of him that just wants to take the foot off the brake and absolutely eviscerate some people. He probably could say some stuff that happened that might end some careers. You know, he's just too polite to do it. But what they did to him and the way they took the series after that with that god awful woman, and then the other woman as well, of course, and Gatwa, was unforgivable. And I would love him to let fly, but I just don't think he will. I don't think he
ever will. I mean, he comes across in this interview as so cool. It's unbelievable. This guy is a cool guy. You know, this is one of the, I mean, you could just see him just sitting there with Bowie and the likes of that, you know, just chilling and talking about it. And they're so cool. And he's so good, you know, you just, my goodness. And he's a proper grown-up man. I know. And he is very polite in this interview, Ian. But he is very much considered. And that's why I keep thinking, right, okay, he's going to have to deal with the question of Doctor Who for the rest of his life. And I genuinely think he doesn't want to.
He's very dry and very witty on it as well.
I would love to chat to Peter Capaldi, but I would ask him the questions he wouldn't want me to ask, like, were you fired?
Yeah.
You know, what did you say there, Paul?
I said he's very dry, erudite, and witty on this interview, which is lovely.
Funny.
And he's very funny, yeah. And you're really drawn in to watch him, you know what I mean? And that's what he had when he played the Doctor, that wonderful,
that's why he
just
good.
Got your attention, you know? Lovely,
That's why he was good. He had this certain something that Tom had. This, this quality that not every actor can have, but he knew it. He had that quality where an audience would go, oh, he's interesting. And again, as you were saying, Third Doctor, if it had brilliant scripts which just dealt with monsters every week rather than crap. And then if Chibnall hadn't come along, he could actually still be there today. Graham 70694, Graham is saying to us, anyone heard Capaldi's music? Think Bowie, Lou Reed, Leonard Cohen, it's decent stuff. And I'm going to see him play in Brighton in March. Yeah, he's on tour. He's doing a mini tour here in the UK. He said this in the interview. They do talk about his music a little bit. And the interviewer, whose name I've forgotten, I am so sorry, but you're very good. He asked about his music. He's obviously a big fan. He loves the music. And the fact that Capaldi talks about this, and he talks about his band and how it was put together and how he doesn't do it for money. He doesn't do it because he wants to be a pop star. He does it because he loves music. Yeah. This is for me what classes Capaldi from a lot of people today who are doing it simply because, not for creative beauty, not because they want to do it, not because they just enjoy it, but for money. Yeah. Or to get clicks or something like that, But listen, go and check if he's touring, and if he's near you, go and have a look. Go and see him. Why not? But this interview, I mean, honestly, it's a lovely interview from half the picture, and he's just so after the initial, I would say 5, maybe 10 minutes, he's settled. Yeah. And he really gets into it, and he listens intently to what the interviewer is saying to him, and then is extremely honest in the reply. It's a real considered answer. He's really thinking about it. It's really, he's engaged with the interviewer, which is good. Yeah, and he does warm up, doesn't he? He actually enjoys the environment he's there. He feels comfortable. He feels safe, which says to me as well that if any of us ever get Capaldi at a convention or something like that, you've got to have the right the environment for him. That is so important, because if he's not in the right environment, he's not going to enjoy it. Yeah. He came to Edinburgh for chairs and cushions and all this sort of stuff. He came to Edinburgh Comic Con back in 2019. I didn't see him there, but if he comes again, maybe this year I would go and see him. But he may, because he's in the area, he might pop along. Fingers crossed. Be nice. Yeah. He's one of the Doctor Who stars at the moment now that doesn't just seem to be cashing in on Comic Con money. Yeah. And that again says something that is maturity. But he doesn't need to, does he? That's the thing. He doesn't, but it shows not only just his maturity, but it does say to me deep down he stepped away. Yeah. And I don't blame him if he has. Marie UK is leaving us now because she's got an early start tomorrow at her new job. Good luck. Wow. Enjoy it, darling. Good luck to you tomorrow morning at your new job. Well done. Bill Lowry is saying to us that Chibnall allegedly wanted his name on Who history. That's why he allegedly booted Capaldi. PC had stated that he wanted to play the role for at least 5 years. A few weeks later, he announced his departure. He was forced out. Well, again, looking at the rumours, that's been said for years. I was there that night on Radio 2. He announced he was going with Joe Wiley. A grown man of that age doesn't cry as much as Capaldi did when he's announcing he's relinquishing a role. Yeah. That's when I thought this guy's being pushed, because he was in tears live on the radio. Yeah. And I'll never forget that. Never forget it. It was a very moving interview, which you'll never get on the Doctor Who CDs and the BBC, at the BBC. You'll never get that one. Because it says it all. But remember at that time as well, Bill, Capaldi had sort of hinted that while Moffat was leaving, he was staying on. And the next thing we know, he's gone. Yeah. Highly suspicious. Yeah. Very. Well, we also know, because he said it himself, didn't he? Chibnall said it himself that he went for dinner with the BBC, the BBC studio representatives, and he said he didn't really want to do it either. Yeah. And so he said to them something that he thought they would never agree to. I'll only do it if I can have a female Doctor Who. To which, of course, they called his bluff. Oh my God! What a great idea! That's brilliant. Let's do it. So he was stuck with it for 3 years. Yeah. Oh, sad times just for the DEI clipboard people. Stephen O'Neill is saying the Peter Capaldi era will be looked back upon as a golden era of New Who.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? I can't remember a lot of his stories because I remember thinking they were absolute pants.
I think Peter Capaldi will be looked back on with much love. I think his stories are eminently forgettable, not because of his performances. His performances were pretty much the only decent thing about them. I think they'll just be forgotten because the scripts were dire.
I think they might get a slight reappraisal based on the current crap that we've had in years to come, in the same way that some of classic Who that's been, been referred to as not being that great. When the Blu-rays came out, they were reappraised, and some stories have got a better reputation than they used to have since the Blu-rays came out. So you never know; they may.
Time will tell.
Certainly won't. But
no, well, I don't know. I mean, we've had certain people coming out saying, even on our channel with our lovely friends in the chat, Whittaker felt more like the Whittaker series was more like Doctor Who than the Gatwa series. So I don't know. It could happen. We'll find out within the next 10, 15, 20 years if we're all still here. Touch wood. Sheriff Brackett, any relation to Hilda? In the article, people like the writer of this article fetishize people like Gatwa. Yeah, they do. They stick together, these people. You know, they do. They're all part of the same sort of mindset. David's back with us, David Williams. Capaldi's solo episode, Heaven Sent, is regarded as one of the finest hours of science fiction ever televised, showcasing a virtual one-man performance that neither Whittaker or Gatwa could pull off. Well said. He actually talks about it in the interview, doesn't he, Paul?
Yeah, he does, yeah. I have to say, it's not a favourite of mine. I find it really dull.
I'm the same.
I think he's really good in it. But I think it's slightly self-indulgent. That's the problem, you know. But
it's pretentious nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I remember I've watched it once, David, just the once, because at the end of it, I was exhausted, and I thought I'm never watching that again.
Yeah, I never got the why people love it so much. I don't understand. No, I really don't. But
no, I don't either, and I don't think it was clever in any way or shape or form. So I don't know. I might have to go back at some point for a review here on the channel and watch it, but only when we're doing the review. Because I don't understand. But he talks about it in this, and it's as though the interviewer in the interview here from Half the Picture reminds him about it. It's as though he's forgotten it for a little while, isn't it, really? Because it's apparently it's an anniversary of it this year. It's 10 years or something like that.
10 years, wow.
Yeah. But anyway, that's why they bring it up. Don't go and watch it now, but it's worth you looking at and going to find, because he is brilliant. Robert Payne's saying to us, it's nice to have an actor who responds in a measured way on this topic at least. And that's a nice way to call it. It's a mature interview. It really is. It's nice to actually see a bloke chatting.
Yeah.
Because that's what he is. He's a normal bloke. And it's nice to actually, even though it's on the Tube of Who, it would be lovely to see something like that again on the telly. But you can't get that now, can you? You're not allowed to have that sort of stuff anymore because it's not diverse enough. Funky is saying to us, more diplomatic than Malcolm Tucker ever was. So we want his full rant at Modern Who. They do get him to play a bit of Malcolm Tucker in this as well. 20-year anniversary of that show, believe it or not. So they were saying. Terrified Monkeys say, never meet your heroes. Yeah, there's an element of that for some of them. Yeah. Everybody's human. That's what I've got to say after certain experiences I've had.
Even Tom has a bad day, you know.
He used to have a few bad days, didn't he?
Yeah.
Matt Enspiel saying to us, we were blessed with having Capaldi as our doctor. The last proper doctor for me, Matt.
Yeah.
And here's something, look at this, from Mark A. Wright. Capaldi was shafted. They bounced him around the time slots until nobody knew when he was on. Then they issued a press release saying his doctor wasn't the most popular. He was wasted, utterly wasted. Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. I didn't like that at the time after Capaldi had left. And they did imply in certain press releases and in the press that he wasn't a popular Doctor Who.
And you notice they never did that for Jodie or Shooty, did they? After
they didn't.
No, they didn't. And yet they are arguably the two most unpopular versions of our favourite Time Lord in history. You know, no one's going to remember Shooty Gatwa as Doctor Who, and Whittaker's going to go down as forever as the woman.
Yeah.
When it comes to the great British public, definitely. Nuclear Bum Records. Capaldi's third series felt like someone was twisting Mundy's arm to turn the programme into what it has become since. And I wonder whether Capaldi dare not address that. He wouldn't. And one thing is, as well, as I say on this, I think there's an awful lot more he could say but he can't be asked.
Yeah,
and he put it behind him. And I think that's, if you go and look at what he said, you'll get he's cagey. He's slightly wary to a point. And as I say, he knows he's going to have to talk about Doctor Who, but I get the feeling he doesn't really want to. I don't know if you were picking up on that, Paul.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like you said, he's moved on. He's kind of thinking, well, that's it. I don't want to talk about it now. That was my past. The fact now he feels he can't even watch classic Who because of that is quite sad, you know? So
yeah, that is the point, actually. He does say that, you know, but actually we know a lot of Doctor Who fans that have been tarred with that as well, because they've seen what's happened to the show and they can't even go back and watch the original show now. It's such a shame. Thank you, RTD, and all your little cronies for that. You've just destroyed a fantastic, the longest running science fiction show in the world, with millions of the fan base that would have supported you if you've done it right. Honestly. Yeah, lots of you in the chat talking about him. Stephen saying Capaldi being such a gentleman. He really was, honestly.
Yeah.
Steve Braddock saying to us, I love Capaldi, even in a poorer story. He was the doctor and he kept you watching. Yes, because he had the abilities, I've said before many, many times, of he was able to act. And he could take a pile of whippet crap, Tom would have said, and made it into something. And your eyes were always on Peter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was good. It was so good. Rick Storm is saying to us, I have to admit, I was very hesitant about Capaldi when he was cast, but I was then pleasantly surprised. He was fantastic, only to be let down by some bad writing.
I was so glad he was over 40, over 50 even, you know. But
God bless Peter Capaldi, says Margie. Pure class. Doctor Who was a family show. It's not now. No, it's not. It's now only for a minority of weirdos, quite frankly, isn't it? And even they've started to move on. Hopefully they're growing up and discovering life. John Steed, what you're saying to us, John, Capaldi was edged out slowly. He should have had at least one more series. He was treated badly, and look what state the series is in now. I was saying to the guys last night off air, John, when we were in the green room after the show, had Capaldi actually stayed for that year he wanted to, a first year with Chibnall, I reckon Chibnall would have had to raise his game. Because he was writing for Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
It's just a personal theory I have. We'll never know.
Which he might not have been able to do, which is probably why he wanted rid of him. He didn't have the skill.
Yeah, that's true. PB saying to us, Capaldi is classier than RTD, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. In every way going. Really every way going. But he's so polite, Peter. In you know, you can see, and it comes across like that in other interviews. You know, I don't think he actually likes doing the interviews, to be honest, as well.
No, I remember he was on Graham Norton at one point, and he looked a bit uncomfortable on there, you know, because they kept dragging up all this "he used to be a fan" stuff on that. That must be a bit embarrassing, but yeah.
Very childish, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello to Mobile J Grow. Nice to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. Capaldi reminded me of John Pertwee, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Well,
do you remember that initial launch of his costume when he had that wonderful kind of black and red kind of thing like Pertwee's cloak?
Yeah.
That was fantastic. That photo shoot they did initially when he first started, that was great.
Yeah.
Wish he'd kept that, because that was a really good look.
Yeah, I do. I like that. Yeah.
Hated all the bloody hoodie things. They were awful. But
yeah, I don't know what they were trying to do there. But there we go. But yes, so that was Peter Capaldi. I'm going to use the word legend. He probably wouldn't like us because of what we say and our politics. But that's fine. That's fair enough. But he's still our doctor. Yeah. For me, he's the last Doctor Who I have seen, because I haven't seen the Doctor on television since Capaldi went. And I would recommend wholeheartedly this interview with half the picture here on the tube of Who. It's really, really interesting. Go and see what you think.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think. And that reminds me as well, if you do want to get in touch with us at any time, you can. The email address is whosviews1@gmail.com. If you've got any pictures, any news articles you think are worth covering on headlines, any gossip you might hear about, or if you just want to drop me a line, or indeed, if you want to come onto the 2026 series of Chit Chat, which is recording right now, you can come onto that. Let me know. We'll get something sorted with you. whosviews1@gmail.com. Great to hear from you. Remember, it does take me a little bit of time to get back to you, but I do get back to you. Kirsty, our lady of the chat, is saying about Capaldi, his Glastonbury bit with Franz Ferdinand was epic. He talks about that as well,
he
doesn't
does.
he?
Yeah, he does.
And how he was totally out of this. He's just like, where am I? What's happening? You want me over here? Fine. And then he went home and had a bag of chips or something, you know.
Yeah.
Totally brilliant. Honestly, he's so cool. He really is cool. Avon is joining us. Hello, Avon. How are you? Late coming online due to interest down being watching Point Pleasant, Buffy season 1 and the X-Files season 1, which were great. Thank God for home media DVDs and Blu-ray, and not forgetting Saturn 3. Thanks for sharing that, Avon. You know, don't know any of that. But good to see you, mate. Welcome.
Shall we, JT? Sorry to interrupt. Shall we just? Is it a good time to just say at the moment we have 271 in the chat, which is absolutely amazing. Just a general reminder, please hit that like button. That really helps. If all 271 that are watching now could hit that like button, that'd be fantastic. And make sure you're subscribed as well.
Fantastic.
So I should drop that in there.
It's free to do, so go on. That's it. It helps with our what they call algorithms, which drive me mad, actually, because I don't understand how it works. We're up and down, all the bloody time.
Every time you click the like button, it saves a little kitten somewhere in the world. Allegedly.
Yes, and an angel gets his wings.
That's the one.
Goat says, hey to you. And Fafty Head, hello, Fafty Head. Did they ask Capaldi if he knew Bill's character was gay? I don't think if that was ever made clear.
No, it never was. No, it was very subtle. That was, yeah.
It's really says something, isn't it? Really, when you can't remember some of the companions, because I never remember Bill or the one that the fat bald bloke played either.
Well, Matt Lucas, I like Matt Lucas as a comedian, but as Nardole, he's completely pointless and wasted talent.
He didn't
suit it at all. It's like they did this thing about he's a comedian. Let's get another comedian in. Yeah, what last time? No, it didn't. You know, so love Matt Lucas, but no, don't have him in Doctor Who. So,
that's what hit me at the time. That Moffat was so desperate; he was just trying to repeat the Donna Noble, Catherine Tate thing by doing another one. And
he did the same thing with Bradley Walsh when he came into Jodie's stuff. So he's another comedian, thinking that would work as well. But
and didn't they follow him up when Bradley left with somebody else?
With John Bishop, yeah. So it's like formulaic, you know. Yeah. It doesn't always work. And John Bishop's a very funny comedian, but terrible actor. But,
and they said there was stunt casting going on in the 1980s. Goodness me.
Yeah.
The last 21 years has been full of it. Mark A. Wright
$10 for a companion, that'd been great. Yeah. So.
Oh, God love him. God love him. What a talent. Mark A. Wright is saying to us, I never knew Capaldi cried when announcing his departure. It surely tainted his lifelong love for the show. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. I was listening to that show that night. Couldn't believe what was going on with Joe Rice. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Wiley.
Yeah. Joe Wiley.
Yeah.
Wiley. Yeah. Thank you, Third Doctor. Joe Wiley, and it was on live on her BBC Radio 2 radio show in the evening, and I'd heard that Capaldi was going to be on. Oh, great! I'm going to listen to it, see what he says, and he was just in bits trying to tell the listening audience that he was giving up the role of the Doctor in the next series. And I remember going straight onto my Facebook and putting it in. So it's actually documented somewhere on my timeline. Oh my God, Peter Capaldi's just announced he's leaving from Doctor Who. He's just leaving. And I was, honestly, it was heartbreaking to hear it. And he's sitting opposite a Doctor Who fan doing it. And, you know, she was there when he was announced. She was around about the time she was announced, you know, in the audience and stuff, wasn't she? Goodness me. And this one, very poignant. Yeah, Domgo. Doctor, I let you go. Capaldi said it for all of us.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder if Moffat knew what was going to happen after that particular episode, you know, because that line is so poignant. Because we did. Millions of us let the Doctor go, you know, millions. And it's still not recovered to this day, has it?
No.
Bless. Anyway, as I say, you can go and listen to that. Not now. But at some point, go and have a look. And well done to Half the Picture for getting him and doing quite a really nice, mature and balanced interview, I think, and asking him about his music as well as everything else. Absolutely fantastic. Right then, where are we going now? Oh, yes, we're going to, again, putting it in with the rumours. Paul was mentioning it before. Third Doctor Ian was talking about it as well. Streaming in Doctor Who. Streaming seems to be so important now for Doctor Who, doesn't it? And the rumor over the last few days about Paramount being the next partner to take over from Disney. I mean, I understand, guys, the whole thing. But Britain is not set up as a streaming nation, is it really? We've got Netflix, we've got Amazon Prime, we've got Disney, you've got all these other things, but we're still quite old-fashioned in that we're still reliant on BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. That's where we get our main programming. We're not really set up as a nation for streaming, are we? Not like the States and everywhere else.
No, we're not. No. And you saw what happened last time with Disney. If they end up doing the same kind of thing, if it ever happens, of course, is the fact they start, putting it on. Well, drop it at midnight because on Paramount at 7 o'clock at night, whatever what the time difference is, and that I think that killed. Luckily, killed Shooty's series of Doctor Who because it was getting watched at different times.
The other thing that killed Shooty's series of Doctor Who is because it was bloody awful.
As well. That's
the big thing. But yeah, I mean, people outside the UK, and I get this from the emails and we get, just don't grasp our system and how we do it. And from what I believe you can do in America, for example, you can go and buy a television. You don't have to be a television license, and then you can just pay for any of the channels you want to run on your television, and that's all you pay for. So you pay for all these subscriptions. So you're actually paying, I would imagine, quite a lot of money for all these subscriptions per month.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can have all the channels you particularly want. So if you're a sci-fi nerd, for example, I would imagine you would get things like Netflix, you would get Disney because it owns practically everything these days. You would get Paramount. You'd probably get something to do with the Marvel thing. Oh, that's Disney as well, isn't it, really?
Yes, Disney, yeah. What would happen, though, when Disney have control to broadcast it like Doctor Who in the States, so that's what he did for Shooty's show. But you couldn't have Disney Plus here in the UK and watch Doctor Who on Disney Plus here in the UK, could you? Because that was only exclusive to around the world, not the UK. So if Paramount were to put Doctor Who on, you couldn't get it. You get from the BBC, not Paramount, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, as I said earlier in the show, Doctor Who is owned by the BBC.
Yeah.
And it's sort of rented out on a partnership basis. But whatever happens with Bad Wolf, or as we saw in '96, it's exactly the same thing. All rights revert to the BBC after the things are done. So the Bad Wolf thing, again, is rumored to be finishing this year, their deal, their partnership at the end of 2026. So therefore, the rights would revert back to the BBC so that they can go and find a new production partner if they wanted to. It works like that. But the BBC will always have Doctor Who on BBC One.
I wonder how actual complicated it might still be. If you look back at '96, with all the problems they had with the rights when they worked with Fox and stuff, Universal, I wonder if it's actually that easy to get away from the Disney deal, because they had high hopes, didn't they, of this being a really good 10-year run or whatever with Disney, and it didn't come to that. So I wonder if it's as clean cut as we think.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's a case of like with Disney. From a business sense, we'll see how this goes. We'll invest so many millions, and we've ordered so many episodes, which they've gone and done, rightly or wrongly, and that's the end of the deal. So the option would have been able to say, oh, we'll continue, or we can pull out. And they've obviously gone, nah, we're not interested, we'll pull out. I think it's as simple as that. I mean, it's not. It doesn't have to be complicated in television. It can be quite straightforward, and I think
it can be. But it wouldn't surprise me the BBC buggered it up and got something that wasn't in their favour. You know what I mean? It's
I think with Fox, I think with Fox in the mid '90s that led to the McGann thing. The view in the BBC on Doctor Who wasn't good, was it? They didn't care. So they were quite happy to sign away their grandmother on it, really.
Yeah.
And that led to problems unravelling it for it to come back in 2005. The BBC are obviously more aware of what they've got this time, even though they don't know how to do it properly. They are aware that it's a moneymaker now, which they never have been since '63. But they're aware now. So I would hope that they haven't signed away their grandmother with Disney. But like you say, Paul, they have a track record, don't they? They have form.
There's no way they've done that because they're coming back with the BBC Studios production for Christmas 2026. And then I've always said the easiest thing for BBC to do is to go alone and just do 3 or 4 hour episodes a year. Simple as that. Which is what was in the rumour thing earlier on. Paramount TV, says Jess Corbin, in the UK primarily refers to the streaming service Paramount Plus, which offers movies, originals and series accessible via its own app. Stephen O'Neill saying to us here, Britain is, like you say, still a terrestrial TV nation, and that's not going to go anywhere anytime shortly. even with the BBC in so much trouble. And what we got from Fafty had here, streaming's an appropriate term as the show is piss poor now. It's true, isn't it? It's absolutely true. John Henson's with us as well. Hello, John. Any streamer will look at the Disney show and say maybe without RTD if they had sense, but they don't. And all they see when they look at each other is achievement. And he's known here and in America because of the success of Queer as Folk in America, which he got paid for because it was his original series. Goodness me, it's a mess. But let's get into this because we've got this. This has hit some, I was going to say streamers there, but I can't. Some platforms. We've got this story that's come from bleedingcool.com. Doctor Who, streaming rights to the modern era, the real holy grail. The 2005 Doctor Who revival is the reason the series is a global success, and the streaming rights may be the key to who gets the show next. Let's have a look at this. We've got this coming up with the endless speculation over the future of Doctor Who, where it's going to end up and who's going to co-finance it. There's one thing often overlooked in the endless speculation: the streaming rights for the library of the modern revival of the series. RTD brought the series back in 2005 and gave it a modern, updated approach, which launched it into a global success it hadn't achieved before. The run of series that began with Eccleston, followed by Tennant, Smith, Capaldi and Whittaker before the deal with Disney is the reason the show is so popular and sought after now. And that library might be the key to which international streamer will get to co-produce future episodes next. Stephen Moffat has said of Doctor Who, everyone talks about ratings as if they matter. I was in a position to know how much money that show generated. That's the number you want to look at. And that's why Doctor Who still gets made. Of course, ratings matter, but it's not just about how many people watch it in the UK anymore. It's about how much money the series generates from across the world for the BBC. That's how it works for all TV series for any company. It has been reported that the BBC earns over £100 million a year from merchandise sales and international licensing deals alone. The series also generates £500 million for the Welsh and UK economies every year through the jobs it creates. The BBC made the most money off Doctor Who ever, most recently from the Disney deal. Disney wasn't just contributing to the production budget, they were licensing the worldwide streaming rights, which meant compensating the BBC for the money they would have made by licensing the streaming rights to individual countries and territories. The exact figures have not been disclosed. Now that the Disney deal is over, the BBC has to find another co-financing partner for Doctor Who, as it does for every drama series it produces, because the license fee can no longer cover the full costs of a series anymore. It has been said that the major streamers are also interested in a fuller package, namely the library of the modern series. The classic series, which ran from 63 to 89, has already been licensed to many streamers. It is the popularity of the modern series that has created its current younger fandom, which every broadcaster and streamer wants to attract. Ever since HBO's American streaming rights to the modern run lapsed in 2025, no American streamer currently offers that run of shows. Even if the BBC rests Doctor Who for the next 2 or 3 years, they can still make money from merchandising and licensing, especially the rights to the modern series. That whole era is hot. Every streamer wants it. Tennant's run is the most popular and what modern fans most want to revisit and binge again and again. It is likely that the modern run will be part of any future international deal for Doctor Who. Until then, it is available on BBC iPlayer in the UK. So tying into what we were saying about Peter Capaldi in his interview there with Half the Picture, he was absolutely right. And he was there when this was really taking hold. It's all about brand. It's all about money. Thoughts?
I think it is. Obviously, it's all a business. What is interesting in that article is the fact that even based on those figures, the money they make from Doctor Who, they can't make a series from the revenue. Like they said before, Doctor Who in the classic series made enough money to allegedly pay for itself. I mean, but those for the billions they talked about, or a billion it was for money from Wales and Britain, and then all the sales and stuff. Surely they could afford to make it from the revenue from that. Surely, couldn't they?
You would imagine so, wouldn't you? Really, but
if they really want to make it on their own, yeah.
I think they're overblowing the popularity of the modern series because as merchandise actually shows, it's the classic series that sells.
Yeah,
here in this country, yeah. Yeah.
You release a John Pertwee. You release Series 11 or Series 21 or something like that, and put it up against releasing a series of Shooty or a series of Whittaker or a series of Tennant, and see which one goes to number one.
Yeah. I think it's a very interesting and enlightening article there. Simply because it just gives another aspect of looking at why they've done this. So Disney have to give BBC Studios compensation, basically, for them not sending this out, for them not distributing it. And that was a lot of money. And that's what talked. So that's when they said, okay, yeah, we'll take this. We'll have all these millions that you're going to give us to produce Doctor Who and put into the show. And also this set of money for the rights to have it exclusively on the Disney Channel out of the UK. But will they get that sort of money again from a competitor to Disney? Because does anybody else have Disney's money? I don't think they do. I don't think even Paramount has the financial clout that Disney has these days. I mean, Disney's no longer doing Bambi, for crying out loud, and all these lovely...
Seeing what they did with Disney's money, though, would you hand over any money even if you had it?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just think this is a very, we'll come to the chat in a minute. I think this is very interesting here for when they are looking forward to what's coming next, and the importance that the BBC has put on international streaming. And rather than looking at doing it themselves, which obviously is far too much trouble for them, they've got to have an American partner to butch themselves up a bit, maybe. I don't know what you think about that, but is it about the look? Oh, we're partnering with Disney, or we're partnering with whomever?
Well, going back to what Ian said, I mean, if they've seen what they did with Disney's money, they'd surely want more control of how the product turns out, because you don't want to be as crap as that, do you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. This is what comes with having production partners. They all get a say.
Yeah.
And look at the mess we've just had over the last... I mean, don't forget that RTD also said that he was brought in by BBC Studios back in 23 to keep Doctor Who together with Disney being around, basically. To be
someone who understands Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We've got Stephen O'Neill saying to us here, in the 2024-25 financial year, the BBC's net income from the TV license was around 3.8 billion, a 5% increase from the previous year, up from 3.66 billion in 2023 and 24. This is where BBC Studios comes into its own, because it distributes or sells the rights to everything. So, for example, not many Americans will understand that Dancing with the Stars is Strictly Come Dancing, which has been going for 22, 23 years here in the UK, longer than Dancing with the Stars. But the BBC make a fortune out of Dancing with the Stars around the world because they sold the format.
Yeah.
They did the same with Top Gear, which apparently some of the Top Gears are still going around the world. The only thing they wouldn't sell the rights to was any foreign broadcaster who wanted to make its own version of Doctor Who. That was always a big no-no. You take our version, there's one Doctor Who, and it's the one we produce. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. Does it? It's interesting. I mean, who'd have thought that Doctor Who, our little show, would be in this position now, where it can charge, or the BBC can charge millions to have anything to do with it?
Just such a shame. It's shit, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to say "I told you so" to the BBC, though, don't you? To be honest.
Well, we do often on this show, and they never listen. They never listen. Robert Payne is saying to us, it's a sad state of affairs that the Welsh economy now budgets on assumptions about a possible income from a TV show.
Yeah.
It's a good point, Robert, isn't it? And it's something I've always forgotten, I have to admit. And it's why the BBC wouldn't want the show off the air for more than a year. In fact, we're not even getting a year, because they can still say it's going to be on in 2026, because they're edging one in at the very end in December.
Yeah.
Because of the, I keep forgetting the amount of money it brings into both Welsh and British economies. I wonder if that's still going to be the case with a Labour government in, though. We're punishing industries left, right, and centre. I don't know, because they're bound to go after the alleged entertainment industry sometime, because they've been after the farmers, they're going after the hospitality. Show business is going to be the next one, even though a lot of the lovies, of course, will vote Labour.
Of course.
Yeah. We've got this from Woodhouse 122. Bleeding Cool are kidding themselves. New Who is a dying brand.
Yeah.
We all know that, and we're the fans. But they're not told that. And it's not as if they're going to come in contact with any of us. If anybody got in touch with me from a streaming giant and said, would you recommend Doctor Who? I'd say no. I'd say no. Absolutely. Don't be piling millions into it because the fan base isn't there. You know, I don't know what you guys think of that. Would you recommend it?
I would not know in its current state, certainly not under the stewardship of RTD for certain, you know.
I'd say it was a dead brand, to be quite honest. I don't think there's anything worth resurrecting in it. Continuing it in December is, I don't know.
It's just prolonging the agony, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah. It's fiddling with the dead. It's a little bit distasteful.
Funky is saying to us here, or I say, a streamer wants all episodes, new and old, as a complete package. Well, certainly Bleeding Cool seem to think it's only from 2005 onwards, because, as they said in their article, a proper Doctor Who is already out there. It's been sold.
Well,
so
the rights issues with Classic Who are a mess, aren't they? So there's no way they can do that. It'd be too complicated, wouldn't it? But
I don't know. Well, they seem to think it's being repeated outside the UK now. So you guys there outside the UK, are you accessing proper Doctor Who from 63 to 89? Are you able to see it? Is it streaming out there? Let us know. Digital pollution.
With a VPN, you can get iPlayer, can't you?
Yeah. Well, we know that. I mean, this is why the iPlayer falls down completely. It's because you can access it, as some of our Who viewers have said here who are out of the UK, have watched Doctor Who on the iPlayer. And they're abroad, which is not how it should be working at all. BBC, get your grip. And that's why I've always said, just turn the iPlayer into the BBC's own streaming service and charge for it outside the United Kingdom. Digital pollution is saying to us, merchandising is where the real money is made. Ha, ha, ha. Again, that's probably part of their sale, isn't it, guys? To other, there's so much merchandise we're doing. And yet the merchandise for the new series is crap.
Yeah.
It's awful. Books, audios of an unpopular Doctor or two, crappy jackets with logos going back 60 years, books. It's ridiculous, the stuff they've changed.
It has the potential to be good merchandise. Remember, at the height of Tennant, they had so many toys and things and everything. You couldn't go into a store without Doctor Who everywhere. That's where they want it to be. But will it ever be that again?
The only thing I think was good about that, I mean, some of the merchandise then was really good, you know, the figures. But again, they balls things up, don't they? Even the merchandise creators, because you got all those 5-inch figures that were really popular, and then they changed the scale, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that died on its arse, and they had to bring them back again. But the good thing about all the new Who merchandise is that it spurred the classic series merchandise, you know, all the fantastic model sets or models that we have from that era that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So I'm grateful for that. But, you know, even then they ballsed it up with that ridiculous format change that they did.
Yeah. But that was the idea of trying to buy it all again, wasn't it? You know, because about scale. It's like the VHSs all over again, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, apparently there were other reasons for that as well, because apparently CO were allegedly in financial difficulties at that point as well. Because, you know, especially Doctor Who had been carrying them for some time.
Yeah.
Around about the Matt Smith era, the Notwees stopped buying things. The bubble burst a little bit. Certainly children weren't buying the action figures as much as they had done. You can actually see that in the series as well. The monsters stopped coming into it as often.
The BBC panicked, didn't they? Because they thought they could never follow Tennant. You know, they could never replace Tennant. And that's probably what gave them a bit of a wobble, you know, when they got Matt Smith initially.
Yeah. Heretic, hello, mate. How are you? Disney doesn't have Disney's money. I love that. Disney doesn't have Disney's money either anymore. Look at why high-profile people are getting let go. Oh, I haven't seen. I've seen bits of it, but I haven't really looked into it yet because, quite frankly, I don't care. Let them go because they're all bloody rubbish, aren't they? If I hear any more that Kathleen Kennedy's been sacked again from Star Wars, every 2 weeks she's been sacked. Just do it. Yeah. Just do it if you're going to do it. Just get rid of her because what's she done? Craig Dunlop is also saying to us, I think Netflix has very deep pockets and will eclipse Disney in time. The way they're going, part of it is quite worrying, I think, what's going on with them. swallowing. I can't stand all this. There's no independence anymore, really, because everybody's swallowed up into this big conglomerate, and they're all fighting with each other, aren't they? Like Amazon taking over Bond.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
Yeah.
Anybody heard about that? What's going on there? You know, they're going to be doing all the usual stuff. Oh, there's going to be a cartoon for the under fives. There'll be a teenage spin-off. There'll be this and there'll be that. Oh, we'll do a female thing. Oh, please. It's all going to be nothing new.
Well, there's a talk of Pierce Brosnan want to do kind of Bond the Wilderness Years when he's older, you know, that kind of thing. I know, crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Just do James Bond, for God's sake. Yeah.
These people have got so much money, they don't care if it goes down the toilet. These production companies do they? Absolutely ridiculous. Daryl's with us, guys. Hiya, Daryl. It's all about fan productions from me from now on, says Daryl. The big money aspect is the ruination of Doctor Who. Bring back the tight budgets and the passion and the imagination from the classic Who fans. Totally. When Doctor Who was at its best because it didn't have any money and it still looked good.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Good for them. Absolutely. You're right there, Daryl. Good to see you.
You didn't need money for imagination, did you? And that's what they had. And it was really good, which is why RTD constantly draws on it.
Yeah, definitely. Paul Schlechter saying to us, I just don't understand how Doctor Who makes money. The BBC want the money, so just make a bloody great series and see the money roll in. It's as simple as that, Paul. That's all you have to do. You're absolutely spot on, I think. All you have to do is make a good, solid science fiction series, and we're all there. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Just make Doctor Who, for God's sake. Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it? It really isn't. It's just.
You'd think it was, though, wouldn't you? You'd think it was.
They can't seem to grasp it, do they? It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, that's that one there. Obviously, we're going to be keeping our eyes here on Who's Views and in Headlines on any news that comes along about possible production partners or streamers or what the BBC is going to be doing next. I keep saying it, this year is going to be a very interesting year for those headlines. So make sure you subscribe and stay with us, because as soon as they drop a headline, we're going to be here talking about it. Talking of which, Pitlochry. Oh, poor Pitlochry is a beautiful part of Scotland. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it has a beautiful theatre. I've been there before myself, and it's absolutely fantastic. Paul, you know it as well, don't you?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
It's one of these sort of oldie theatres which is very community-based, and it's very important to the community because they'll put on amateur productions as well as getting some low-key professional performances coming through. Possibly the odd band, maybe a Deacon Blue or something like that might go around, you know? You never know. Delamitri, I saw them here before I got ill early last year. But it's that sort of theatre, isn't it, Paul, really?
Yeah. I mean, and they do. They have quite an eclectic taste of stuff. Mainly a kind of spring-summer season they do, isn't it? Of different things, musicals and classical theatre, stuff like that. Yeah. But it is a great theatre. And I know you're leading up to, they have a new artistic director, don't they? And that's who we're talking about next. So,
they have appointed a new artistic director. And I remember thinking at the time when this was announced, ho, 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 because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Alan Cumming. And here he is, vibing the third Doctor. Alan Cumming, of course. Oh, nothing on the shoulder.
How dare you?
I'd like to see you in that, Ian. It'd be nice, yeah. So.
I meant John, actually. I meant John Pertwee.
Yeah, either or. How dare you? Yeah.
But look at this. This is Alan Cumming. He is, of course, the host of the American version of The Traitors. I don't know why, but obviously he must be a sort of name in America. I don't know. But there he is. This is it. He is the artistic director now for the Pitlochry Theatre. And you know where I'm going with this, aren't you? Because, of course, Alan Cumming, who has been in Doctor Who twice now, apparently he was in a Whittaker episode. Don't know, don't care. And then, of course, he was the voice of the cartoon thing in Lux for Gatwa in Series 2. That awful
and he's in the new RTD drama as well.
He is. That's the point. Yeah. He's in Tiptoe.
Yeah.
So he's been in Britain more, I would say, over the last year than he has for the last 25. He's also doing his own play now, because he used to have this fantastic, I loved it back in the 90s, a comedy for Scottish television called The High Life, which was incredibly funny at the time. That's going on tour this year as well with the original.
As a musical version.
As a musical version. Yeah. Hashtag camp. But if you're going to see
it needs to be more camp than it was, let's be honest. But
I was quite excited to hear about it, Paul, until he started gobbing off with this TQ cult nonsense. And guess what he's done, everybody, at Pitlochry? This is really going to shake up the Pitlochry people, who I would imagine average age must be 60.
Yeah,
it's one of those places. You know, it's a lovely little place in Scotland, and you go there basically to chill out after you've had all your fun in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You move there just to go, oh, phew. Oh, we'll go down to the wee theatre and have a wee scone. You know, that sort of place. It's lovely. But here we go, because, guess what? RTD joins the lineup for Alan Cumming's Pitlochry Theatre Festival. Pitlochry Festival Theatre's Out in the Hills event will also feature Sir Ian McKellen, Graham Norton, and Val McDermid. I can also tell you at this point now that ex-SNP politician Mary Black, who's trying to make it as a comedian here in the UK right now, is also going to be there. But this is from STV. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies has joined the lineup for the new LGBT plus theatre festival programme by Alan Cumming. Oh, surprise, surprise, you think there's nothing else he could do. Pitlochry Festival Theatre's Out in the Hills event will feature Ian McKellen, Graham Norton and Val McDermid. Sir Ian will star in Equinox, a rehearsed reading of a new one-man play by Laurie Slade and directed by Sean Matthias. The festival gets underway in Pitlochry on January the 16th, with Cumming also leading a cast of 6 in a play called Me and the Girls. RTD, who revived, we always get this same line, RTD, who revived the BBC's Doctor Who, then created spin-off Torchwood, will be taking part in... And then, let's add that, please, media. He'll be taking part in the In Conversation event on the opening day of the festival. I might go along. He said, it's my delight to attend this great new Scottish festival and come out of the closet as a fully fledged Welshman. Let the controversy begin. Others at the festival include former MP Mary Black, who is now a comedian and actor, but that's a matter of opinion. Describing his upcoming performance, Sir Ian said, when Laurie Slade sent me the script of Equinox, I immediately sent it to Sean Matthias, whose taste on all things theatrical I trust implicitly. As a result of his enthusiasm, we had a private reading of the play, which excited us enough to want to share it with others. I only
whether you want it or not.
Yes. I've only worked once at Pitlochry with my 80th birthday show, again directed by Sean. I think Equinox will fit well into the Cumming Festival, and I look forward to hearing the audience's response. That's it if you get anybody coming. It's Pitlochry. It's Pitlochry. How long is it going to take from Glasgow and Edinburgh, Paul, to get to Pitlochry? A couple of hours?
It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe on that. Yeah.
So listen, to all the bed and breakfasts and all the hoteliers out in and around Pitlochry, put your prices up.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Honestly, charge the buggers for staying with you. You'll make a bit of money. It'll take you through the summer. Because Pitlochry is mainly, I'm sure you'd agree, Paul, it's mainly a summer town, really, isn't it, for the visitors?
Spring, summer, that's when the season tends to be. Sort of maybe May to September, October, something like that. But and then maybe there's a Christmas show, maybe. But it's not busy this time of year. So maybe that's why he's doing this kind of stuff, to try and create more interest. But good luck to him.
But it's so unoriginal, isn't it? He's had to do a career thing, you know. Because it's
not very diverse, is it, when they do the same damn theme every single time? They demand everybody else is diverse and inclusive and welcoming. Yet when it's them, they just do the single theme over and over and over.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Cara's saying to us here, oh God, there's the festival ruined. And John Steed is saying, I thought most MPs were comedians.
Well, the jokes, certainly.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I can't believe it. I mean, I can't say anything more about her, I have to say. However, the BBC, of course, are delighted about this. You can actually picture them wetting themselves, can't you, over this sort of stuff. And the BBC website, to which I don't really refer to often, because as I've said before, you can't really trust anything the BBC says this more. You have to balance it up with other places. But the BBC, Alan Cumming promises weekend of queer joy at Pitlochry was their headline. And then they got really excited about this. Sir Ian McKellen, Graham Norton, Evelyn Glennie are among the big names being brought to Pitlochry Festival Theatre by Scottish actor Alan Cumming for what he promises will be a weekend of queer joy. Then it goes out.
Oh, it's just a weekend. At least that's mercifully short. Yeah.
Here's some more. He's obviously gone into his TQ cult phone book and phoned everybody he knows, because the Out in the Hills event will also include an appearance by the Tales of the City creator Armistead Maupin, who I am arguing with constantly on Facebook. I used to really like Armistead Maupin, and I met him back in Glasgow back in the 90s when he was doing readings of one of his Tales books, whatever one was about at the time. And he signed my book and we had a really good chat. And I really liked him. But of course, he's come out even stronger over the last few years. He's attacked J.K. Rowling for her stance on the trans issue. And he's insisting that anybody that doesn't think a trans woman is a woman and a trans man is a man is just genuinely incorrect. I was going to say another word there, but I can't. Incorrect. And yet I will constantly go back to him. And because he's American, he's got all this queer community crap. And I've had to remind him, you're living in Britain. We don't have the same history as you in America. And he goes, oh, I can't believe that my adopted home is so wonderful and it's got somebody as nasty as J.K. Rowling. I'll have him for that as well. So, do you know, it's worth going up for a weekend, actually, Who Viewers, isn't it? And causing trouble. Let's make some placards.
Can you zoom from your prison cell? That'd be just.
They've also got coming up as well an exhibition of photography and a new stage adaptation of a Noel Coward short story. That cast of 6 will include Cumming himself, who will announce his full season in a few weeks' time. So this is only partly what we're getting to here. Apparently, the Out in the Hills will celebrate all things LGBTQIA+. Any more letters you want to add on to this, Alan, by the way, in your press team? Go on, you might as well go for it. Just put the old bloody alphabet on. You're insulting as many people as possible. Hashtag LGB without the TQ and add the IA. It's not just theatre. It will bring in events discussing everything from football to crime writing and baking, apparently. Ian McKellen will star in Equinox, as we've just said there. And Scottish artist Juano Diaz. Do you know who this is, Paul? Author and
No idea.
No, I
Fine
don't
Scottish name.
Yeah, Juano Diaz will read from his powerful memoir, Slum Boy, accompanied by world-renowned solo percussionist and composer Evelyn Glennie.
Sorry?
Yeah. How many of you have just bought tickets, by the way, in the chat? Over the weekend,
I think there's more likely people will go and watch Capaldi than will go and watch this bollocks.
Hope so. Over the weekend, there will be a series of In Conversation events, which have been ripped off from our Chit Chat series, which will give audiences a chance to hear from apparently alleged well-loved figures, including Maupin and Jackie Kay. I've never heard of Jackie Kay either.
Jackie Kay was one of our Macars, one of the Scottish poet laureates. He did a poem about the Queensferry crossing, and it was worthy of William Topaz McGonagall. Dreadful. Yeah. So.
Oh, right, okay. MP turned stand-up comedian, Mary Black, will talk to broadcaster and author Gemma Kearney, and Graham Norton will be in conversation with Alan Cumming. Cumming has said, Out in the Hills is my first piece of new programming in 2026 as the artistic director of Pitlochry Festival Theatre, and I think it perfectly demonstrates the ethos I want to infuse all my work with here. We have a combination of big names as well as new faces and ideas, and I'm inviting the public to take a chance on new experiences as well as revel in those they already love. Also, I love a party. Out in the Hills is a celebration of the amazing contributions that the LGBTQI+ community has made to all our lives. And that's our time in our history when the queer and trans community is once more under threat. This is a chance for everyone to come along and show solidarity and support and be part of a weekend of queer joy. There's the insult, apart from everything else. And this shows, again, it's the TQ cult. Again, they just stick together, and it's just going to be a whole weekend of propaganda. Because I tell you something, there is no threat to anybody that wants to try and call themselves queer, because that's just mainly, narcissistic heterosexuals who want to be part of something, and you wear fancy makeup and nail varnish. And trans people have the same rights as every one of us. These people live in a fantasy. We've gone through it so many times. But it's no surprise that RTD has gone, and I can't wait to see what he opens his gob and comes out with, because we're going to be talking about it on this show.
Yep. Apparently, Alan Cumming has just received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, hasn't he, as well?
He has, yeah. Yeah, he has.
What's he done for that? I mean...
He was in The Good Wife, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's not for the high life, is it?
I like the fact that Matt Enspiel and Funky are planning that we all go up to the event in January, and let's all wear Who's Views t-shirts. Great publicity for the channel, that would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
really? It would be quite good, though, to sit there and heckle RTD. I'd love that. You've missed this bit out. And do you remember the bit where you killed the show? You know. What else have we got here? Yes, Gemma Kearney. Oh, really, Kirsty? Is an ex-radio DJ, one socialist justice warrior, now lives in Edinburgh. I think I've met her. I think she was here doing a book signing. Yes, I think I might have met her, Kirsty. Not willingly. I was probably going in to have a look at if they got the Doctor Who book I wanted in or something. Stephen Braddock is saying to us here, oh dear, he's goon transformed that theatre for the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he probably will. Yeah. I don't know if he got the job, though. It's interesting. It feels like jobs for the boys, as always. But
I'd love to know.
Yeah. So why got the job, and who did he get the job just immediately, or did he actually have to interview for it? Because that's how you get audition, whatever. Yeah, but yeah.
He's not from Pitlochry either, is he?
I don't think so. No, I think he's from Glasgow somewhere. Yeah, but
he's from Glasgow way, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Robert is saying to us, Pitlochry is really out the way, and I hope that's one of the reasons that people don't go, because there's a huge apathy, as we know now in Britain. People can't be bothered to do anything, so I just hope they don't go. But I can see various idiots from Edinburgh and Glasgow's TQ cult community toddling over on a bus or something. So that's why I'm saying to the B&Bs and the hotel people, raise your prices, milk them for all you can.
Yeah. What month was it they were going to be doing it?
January.
February. Yeah. I'll be snowed in.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. Lots of chat going on here as well. You're all brilliant. You're all so funny. I love it. I absolutely love it. It sounds like a gigantic gay-off, says Fafty Head. Is there a workshop discussing Bill's possible gayness? It's more of a TQ cult faff-off, isn't it, really, Fafty Head? You're not going to get many LGB people there unless they're part of the TQ cult. Because more and more people in Britain are waking up to the fact, especially gay men and women now, that the homophobia in the TQ cult is rife. It's absolutely outstanding. It's disgraceful. Al John is saying to us, oh my God, this is like a total self-parody. Pitlochry will disappear into a black hole of cringe. It's interesting, isn't it? Because as I'm thinking about this and I'm looking at this, and I think this would have worked at somewhere like the GFT, the Glasgow Film Theatre in Glasgow, or it would have worked in Edinburgh, because Edinburgh, no offence, is incredibly pretentious and arty. But, you know, it would have worked somewhere. But Pitlochry.
Yeah.
Pitlochry. Can you imagine these the wee hens that are going out for their scone in the afternoon? Can you imagine, Paul?
Well, like I said to you off camera, I think that kind of area in Perth as well, when people used to go to the theatre there, if there was a swear word, a controversial swear word in a new play, you'd hear the seats rattling, you know, so as people leave. And I think the same thing will happen in Pitlochry when this is going on probably as well, if there are any people who are interested, who are normal, as it were. So, yeah.
Well, they're not going to go to anything like this, are they? The audience in Pitlochry. I mean, you know, Alan, you're not really giving anything to the local community. This isn't a city. What are you doing? You're just venting your politics again, aren't you?
Mm.
You're doing it from Pitlochry. And then you've got all your little chums, your TQ cult friends coming along. It's great for us here on Headlines, because as I say, as soon as RTD opens his big gob, I'll be there listening to him, as will Legion of James, as will PB, I am sure. And some of the others. Frankie Standish is saying people only know him as Boris in Goldeneye. Do you know, I've forgotten about that. I forgot he was in Goldeneye.
Of course.
He was crap, wasn't he? He was absolutely awful. He had that really fake, was it Russian accent?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Terrible. Fafty Head is saying, get a coach book, because I'm in. And here's the Peter Venkman fan site saying, I'd love to see a video of that. Well, if there is one released, you know we'll play on here, PVFS. You'll know we will, because I'll have something to say. PT Music is saying, let's make this a Who's Views meeting. Oh, they'd love it if we all turned up, Who viewers, wouldn't they? Oh, they'd love it, I tell you. Oh,
especially if we booked out the accommodation before they got it.
Well, I'd be big placards. RTD must go. Down with the TQ cult. gay rights now, trans women are men. That would really get them going, wouldn't it? Let's do it. I'd love to see Armistead moping when he gets out the car. Water and Dust Walking is saying people could adapt that favorite folk song about Keir Starmer and make it RTD. Is that I can't say that word. You're very naughty, Water and Dust Walking. And Robert is saying to us that in response to people in the chat that yes, Pitlochry is right up past Perth and by Balmoral Way. It's a beautiful part of Scotland.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Fantastic. Yeah. So's Perth. I actually quite like Perth as well. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
And Anton is telling us that he was born in Aberfeldy in Perthshire, apparently. Was he?
Oh.
I never knew. I thought he was a city boy.
So did I, yeah.
Mind you, he did live in Glasgow for years, didn't he, Paul? That's where we probably got that.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody for this, for all your chat and what have you. Matt Enspiel saying to us, Pitlochry sounds like somewhere like Royston Vasey. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I have to say, because
it's not just for local people, no.
No, the local people there are gorgeous. They're fantastic. They're so welcoming.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they're going to react to Alan Cumming coming into their lovely theatre and just making it all about far left extreme ideological politics.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to go down. They're not all SNP voters up there, I'm sure. A little bit of politics. Yeah. Thank you very much. Kirsty's in the chat reminding you, if you want to get in touch, it's whosviews1@gmail.com. Kate, stay with us, because as I say, if there's any feedback from the Pitlochry event, which is happening later this month, we're going to be talking about it. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. Another event that's coming up that you may be more keen on, everybody, is this. And who's going? Let me know. Doctor Who Special Edition for Series 21, Warriors of the Deep, a question and answer with actors Peter Davison and Janet Fielding. And this is the BFI's latest venture into Doctor Who. They're going to be showing Warriors of the Deep, the Special Edition. As you can see there, it's on Saturday, the 28th of February at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. The tickets are on sale now, and I think they're about £17, I think. But there you go. You get to see the new version of Warriors Deep on the big screen. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, tickets are £17 with concessions £14. Members of the BFI pay £2.50 less. And this, of course, is to publicise season 21, which is coming out in March this year. So that's a bit more like it, isn't it?
That'll be the edited with this new special CGI bits on it with the Merca and all that kind of stuff.
The new Merca with the teeth. Rawr.
Lovely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, all that sort of stuff. I think Richard, who's joining us tomorrow on the Blake 7 show, and who's involved with the Blake 7 Blu-rays, I think he's going to go. So I'm determined, if one of them's going, if somebody's going, we will be doing a visitations on it, so stay with us on the chat. But I'm sure a lot more of you would want to go to that at the BFI, even though it's in London.
Yeah. Is that the same weekend as Alan Cumming's event, is it? No.
No, it wasn't, was it? When did they say it was? Hang on.
You said it's both February, aren't they? So this is February.
Oh, yes,
that was February.
a few days before. Yes, it's a few days
so,
before. It's the Thursday, and Cumming's event is on the Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, there you go. Funky,
guess which one you might need a stab vest for. Pitlochry, of course.
Yeah. Funky, thank you for your super chat. Finally, some respect for Warriors of the Deep. Yes. Well,
no comment.
Yeah. We'll save that until we've seen it. Of course, the guys will be seeing season 21, the collector's edition, about 4 years before I get to see it on the standard.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that standard edition of season 15 is up tomorrow. It gives me something to do. I tell you, I can't wait for that one.
2031 for you, I think.
Probably. What came after season 15 in the limited editions? What am I getting next? That's what I'm trying to find out in the standard edition. What am I getting next?
Was it season 7? No.
I think it was a Pertwee, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
Was it? How exciting. That's going to be
You've
great.
got season 9, haven't you? Have you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
it
must be season 7.
Yeah. Is series 10 out yet on the limited editions? It is, isn't it? That was
ages ago. Yeah. So.
I'll have to go back and look at them all. Water and Dust Walking. Since we didn't have a VCR, I recorded Warriors of the Deep on audio at the time. So did I. I seem to remember the incidental music was pretty awful. I actually quite like it. I quite like the music with Warriors of the Deep. I think it's quite nice.
I've been recording Doctor Who for a year. I got season 20 and then season 21 on VHS. That was nice. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got Stephen saying to us here, I will be booking if I can get the tickets. They're on sale on Thursday. I'm sure you will get the tickets. I'm sure you'll get the tickets. But if you go, let me know if you get your tickets. Question for the panel from Stephen O'Neill. Do the panel think season 21 will have AI amendments like season 13 did? Yes.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I don't think they can help it now. The genie's out the bottle. They can't stop themselves, can they?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure it's popular with I'm not sure it's all that popular even with people that are working on it. But when your boss tells you to do something, you bloody well do it, unfortunately. But I really do. Rick is telling me that season 25 was next.
All right, okay.
That's quite good. I don't mind that. Oh, actually, but then Domgo's saying season 7. Funky is saying season 7. Matt and Spiel is saying season 7. Oh, I don't know. It'll be a surprise.
If it's season 25, you've got 5 versions of Silver Nemesis to enjoy. So.
I'm looking forward to that. Actually, from what you were saying about it as well. I'm looking forward to watching just. And of course, we are reviewing Silver Nemesis on this channel this year as part of our celebration of 60 years of the Cybermen.
Which version?
I'm going to say whichever bloody version you want. I'm going to say. So we've got a lot coming up for you. I want to say hello to Deep Burrito. Nice. BBC iPlayer has all the episodes. Yes, all the episodes that are available. You're absolutely right, Deep Burrito. Nice to see you. And I like your little picture there of a banana and a strawberry. Is that symbolic at all? I don't know. Funky's reminding us as well, the iconic line, there should have been another way. Well, certainly, we're all saying that about RTD 2.
I wish Shooty said that at the end of the last episode he did.
Yeah. What's this from Mark? Mark is saying to us, I've been put off by the upscaling on the Blu-ray boxes. I've actually gone back to watching on VHS. Today's viewing was the Brain of Morbius 60-minute edition.
Wow. That's really early in the range, isn't it?
Yeah,
taking us back, isn't it?
Was
Morbius the second one?
After Revenge of Cybermen, I think,
wasn't it? Yeah. And then Pyramids, I think. We're going back a long way.
They learned their lesson about editing, didn't they? They got a lot of bad feedback.
Yes.
That people should have gone to prison for what they did to Brain and Morbius there.
Yeah.
That was based on the omnibus version, though, wasn't it? I think, like we have now on the box set.
But they sold enough for the BBC enterprises as they were back then to go, aha, we've got a gold mine here, and let's just span it out for 20 years. And then we'll start again with a new format that we've heard about called DVD, and we'll span that out for 20 years as well. And then we'll do something else. It's called Blu-ray. We'll call it Blu-ray, and then we'll span that out for 20 years. But there you go. Thanks for that, Jess. You're absolutely right. Dom goes also saying that he likes Silver Nemesis. It's a guilty pleasure. Yeah, we're going to have to be careful when we review it, though, because we can't say the N word. And it's full of N's.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I can't even put a certain symbol on the thumbnail like they did on the book.
We can use it as euphemism and call it naughty. Naughty instead.
Yes, we'll do that.
The naughties. Yeah.
Good work. And Deep Burrito saying to us, Icon is one of my songs, Strawberry Banana.
Oh.
Very nice. Strawberry banana. I love a strawberry banana ice cream. I'm hungry now, actually. I think we might have to go and get something to eat and a cup of tea. I don't know. Who's this from G Gray? Hello, G Gray 50. How are you? It's been a while since I've seen you. How are you? Is the Brain of Morbius 60-minute edit on the Blu-ray?
Yes, there is a 60-minute version. There was the omnibus version repeated Christmas 76, was it? I think it's all that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. Funky's saying to us, I have a DVD copy of the VHS of Day of the Daleks. How I got it, I will not say. I'd rather not know, Funky, to be quite honest. I lived through the 80s where certain things came along in brown paper envelopes for you. Yes. Paid 25 quid for a video from Australia. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, do you have the laser disc, though?
The laser disc. I did. I had Day of the Daleks, the laser disc, and I sold it because I thought I can't play the bloody thing. So I sold it for around about £90.
Wow. I'd love to know what the quality was like. Because it was supposed to be the big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the preamp for the Blu-ray. I reckon it's just looking like a 4K Blu-ray does now, to be honest. That's what they just scaled it down because they weren't selling. Do you remember the players were huge? They were like a record player, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were record size, weren't they? Yeah.
I bought Day of the Daleks on Laserdisc from either 10th Planet or the Who Shop all those years ago. And then when I realized about 3 or 4 years later, I'm never going to play this, and I was offered stupid money for it, I took the money.
Right, yeah.
You know, Deep Burrito wants to know, are they doing the visual effects on the old episodes like Star Wars did?
With options to watch the originals, yeah. So
there you go. So yes, Warriors of the Deep, The Awakening, Resurrection of the Daleks, all on season 21, aren't they all getting special editions, new effects and stuff like that? But as Paul says, the brilliant thing is it's an alternative, so you can watch the original and then the new version. They've been doing that for a lot of all the Blu-rays, really, haven't they? There's always something.
Yeah, when they start saying you can't have the original, then they'll be in trouble. Yeah, so
they would never dare, would they? They would never dare. I have a Laserdisc player. The quality is superb, says Mark. And Robert Payne is saying to us, Laserdiscs were big things. They were bloody huge. No, but there we go. But yeah, that's us for today. Actually, we've gone well over time. Thank you for staying with us. I hope you've enjoyed it. To Paul and Third Doctor Ian, as ever, thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed it very much. As usual.
Yep.
We've still got a lot more to talk about. So we'll be back with more headlines for you as we go through January. Make sure you're subscribed. If you've already subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed. Give us a thumb up, and why not share it and recommend us to your friends? That's what we'd like to hear, isn't it, guys?
Yes,
certainly is.
Yeah.
Don't forget that whenever they drop a headline, we're going to be here to talk about it. From the three of us, from everybody at Who's Views, have a great day. Have a great rest of the night. We're going to be seeing you very soon. Tomorrow, probably, for the Blake 7 review. Until we see you again. Ta-ra, everyone. See you later.
Good night, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.